GenG.
This is going to be really exciting. This is the first time we're really going to see the new Icebox being played during kickoff. We're going to go over to our casters for Nightmare Box, Paper Thin, and Achilles.
Alrighty, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into our second series. We have RRQ versus GenG. I mean, Desk was talking about it. Of course, we have to as well. This has been a rivalry brewing and developing since last season. We faced off against each other twice. We got to hear from Ewok, coach of RRQ, earlier saying different team here. So we're looking for a different result.
Yeah, it seems like their destinies are intertwined, and really interesting to see our first look at Icebox in VCT in 2024. Both teams running the Gecko, so using that to control some space. With those changes onto B on the attacker side, it's a lot more difficult to get yourself over to yellow here. There's a lot more opportunities for the defenders to hold some tough angles against you, but so far so good for GenG.
Let's see how they fare here in the long haul. Looks like taking a quick little peek around over at that B site, and now going to be drifting back. But look where Qeon just going to be going on a bit of a linger there at back yellow.
Yeah, but look where Jemkin is. He's pushed way ahead in the nest. And let's see if GenG is going to be able to identify this. This is scary potentially for GenG.
The push now coming through. Dash not going to be procced. There's a knife, and now he won't be able to use it. Okay. Drops back. Quick jump up, and no, getting slowed. Bogging himself down just a little bit, but does manage to make it out with 70 HP still remaining. Dash now at the ready here for Texture as Jemkin makes his way up into his heaven. Has to see the dash back there from left. Texture. In the meantime, though, Qeon finding that pick. He got the opening over onto B, but it looks like RRQ widely are getting the read that this is going to be a full rotate over. They haven't taken any more forward position in this B site yet, so there's a decent chance for RRQ to try to reply.
Yeah, there's just enough space. No Sage available for either team to really feel comfortable, so you use that wingman instead. Put those plants down safely.
4v5 attempt here for the retake. Qeon down to 48 health. RRQ still just waiting for that rejoin to come in here from Blue Clips, and he's got a decent amount of util to use. Jemkin now can find himself on the board, gets Locky. Munchkin's going to be taken down. Qeon still trying to hold things down at back yellow. It's only going to be good for one more kill, and now Texture has been noted. The spike is not planted for him, and he needs to go huge, but he's only going to be able to find one. Jemkin picks up 3 here in his debut in VCT Pacific and gets RRQ the pistol round win.
Yeah, what an escape from Jemkin after a great read by GenG. Munchkin, by the way, this is his 4th ever game on KO. I had to go look because I'm like, you know, Munchkin's not really much of a KO guy. He's played more games on Phoenix in official matches than he has on KO. So kind of an interesting little tidbit there. But yeah, Jemkin, this is kind of the guy you're expecting here for RRQ. This is why you went and picked him up off of Scars when he had that impressive performance all throughout last year, and in particular at Ascension. And he is a tremendous duelist, unfazed in the face of adversity. As we saw at Ascension.
Plenty of noise there, and so that's going to be the Dizzy going out. Nope. Once again, just going to be making his exit. Gets a smattering of damage across. Locky going to be knocked down to 60. Both just kind of going their separate ways here. As Estrella pulling back over towards screens. Texture wary about this pushing. Yep, Jim catching a glimpse there for a brief little moment. There's the dash across. Locky going to be taken down. That recon dart spotting absolutely everybody here on the side of GenG. Now they are very halted up, and the spike is stranded. It's going to take some miracles here. Get GenG into this round and try to equalize the scoreline. Jemkin finding himself another one there. Texture going to be taken out. Dart getting the tag, just forcing Meteor all the way back. As it seems like they're going to have to push in eventually. Munchkin able to find one. Flipshot are going to be taken down. Meteor just waiting, trying to see if he can spot, if he can hear anything. He's right on top of a player, but just has no way of knowing. Visual damage certainly can be dealt,
30
though.
seconds left.
As now he dashes across, rushes up. Still barely manages to get the shot there. Only more will get taken down, but Xfero able to push forward with that Spectre in hand and just mow down the remaining players.
Yep, solid hold here from RRQ. A couple nice Sheriff shots come through. You know, Munchkin, one of those players who has tremendous mechanics along with Meteor. Not going to be on duelists and still doing some damage and losing. You know, on this eco, you'd really love to get this plant down, but with Lakia going down early, obviously the Gecko is going to be your primary plant specialist. Not able to get the spike. Not able to get that little bit of extra money and utility. for the side of Gen.G. Able to keep one Vandal, a couple Spectres. Gonna try maybe a mid push here.
Oh, big rush coming through, and distracted by the alarm bot. Elmimore just domes Texture.
Of course.
Didn't want to take the risk with the vulnerable, but the vulnerable didn't matter. You get just absolutely coup de grace there.
It's an instant upgrade to the Vandal as well for Elmimore, but that guy, I mean, last year with the Sheriffs.
There's no covering fire here for Flipshider.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's going to be the timing, and now it's going to swing around there from Lakia. Easy pickup. Just even up the numbers a bit.
This is, again, good for Gen.G. They can get to this point. RRQ losing one of the kind of power positions potentially over the site.
I believe Xfero's actually trying to challenge into that one, given the weapon disadvantage. Still is going for it, Dizzy. The pop flash going out, but Elmimore managing to find 3, takes out Lakia and Karen before falling. Now it's just Meteor left standing. Fight at the ready. Sends it down back yellow. Swing out, Meteor gonna be good for 1, but with 17 HP and Jemkin having the range advantage with the Vandal, there's just nothing to be done, and it's RRQ. 3 rounds consecutively, they convert the bonus.
Yeah, looking really stalwart here, and Elmimore shined often in 2023, picking up right where he left off. 7-0 now for Jemkin as well in 3 rounds. Absolutely monstrous start, 1 away from a Blade Storm already. Elmimore 2 away from a lockdown. Now Gen.G going to go for Stingers and Sheriffs. Try to see if they can make this A-hit work. Some changes here to Icebox, of course, as the desk was talking about earlier today, which feels like an eternity ago, but we're back at it. And some important changes, but the A side itself has not really changed at all. In fact, it hasn't changed in the slightest, so this part of the map looks familiar.
He's just a hair away, and yep, that's why I got picked up. 8-0, Jemkin just ripping them to shreds. On the hunt for more. Pops the dash before it burns out. Start up over the top, looking to try to clear that. Dizzy still does get flashed, but now Flipshider picking up 1. Lakia gonna be taken down. Jemkin will find another kill as Texture will fall. Heard the drop down, and Munchkin will be able to convert that into a kill, putting Jemkin in the grave for the first time here in the map. Things start getting very messy. Karen now, though, the ranked demon. The one that was picked up by Gen.G that no one saw coming. Gets the 3rd and final kill to get Gen.G on the board in a thrifty round.
And we saw this at Convergence, that once he started to get fired up, he was basically online for the rest of the event. Qeon, man, he is an absolute potential prodigy in the making. He is really, really clean with his shooting, and you could see right there, he's able to get Gen.G their first win despite some really difficult circumstances. That also gets him the Viper's Pit. Munchkin has the null command as well, so a lot of interesting ults to play around with.
Now, Knives now popping. Xfero with a great read. Sprays up on top of the box and does manage to get a lot of damage across on the Texture. Elmimore in the meantime saying, hey, Meteor, I know you're new to this role, but I was kind of one of the Killjoy kings of last season.
And he snuck up through mid there to get that kill, so nicely done by Elmimore.
Do they read Xfero has he's repositioned here? Because this would be fairly aggressive. It looks like they were not ready for it, but now they swing around in from behind. But Elmimore and Jemkin have arrived, and blink and you miss it. The rug pulled out from beneath Gen.G's feet.
I mean, RRQ is happy to take these fights on B. Elmimore is just absolutely impossible to get through. Him and Xfero are doing a phenomenal job of just shutting down these pushes that Gen.G is trying to dial up. And once Jemkin arrives, then it's game over. It's not ready at all as Munchkin for that position. Oh my goodness.
It just felt like Gen.G at all wasn't ready for the fast rotates in from RRQ.
No, not at all. You're absolutely right. I mean, RRQ is just sensing that these seem to be fairly static hits from Gen.G. They're trying to dial up some executes to just get themselves onto the sites. They're not even getting to that point most of the time.
Dizzy, flash drive sent out just to try to escort them forward up towards this nest. Decent firepower, 3 Sheriffs plus that Blade Storm there for Texture. But with a lot of silence from that A site. Once again, Gen.G kind of falling into this pattern of rotating back over towards the B site.
Yeah, so this is good. I was going to say at the beginning of this round that I'd really like to see Gen.G do a little bit of a bait and switch. Use that Gecko utility to buy a little extra time to keep RRQ onto the other side and then shift over, because pretty much you always know that the Gecko is going to be the one sitting with that spike.
But again, I mean, you see how slowly they're starting to approach us when they send out that 0 point, but then they really grind it to a halt. Rotations are in position. They're just waiting on Meteor to report whether or not he spots anything, to see if they want to try to rotate back, but they're running out of time to do so. Sparrow will make his presence known. Top rope, sending out that bite, and yep, that's going to be the rotations now coming in. And this time RRQ, they're not privy to it.
And there's no ability to gather info here, except for Flips. Has that Thrash. Now trying to buy a little bit of time, keeping that Duelist on the other side.
Quick clear on that recon, but with those Sheriff shots coming through from Meteor, it seems like RRQ now realizing what the play actually is. Wingman goes forward. That's going to be the Thrash coming in to try to find a lockdown. Does jump forward, manages to get the Detain onto one. His Texture drifting across. The instant headshot is found. He will shut down Elmimore. Estrella, however, now arriving, finds Qeon, ends up getting taken down, but Jemkin still very much a concern here for Gen.G in this post plant. But now Thrash going forward, looking to chase in, but they manage to clear it out. Meteor with the Sheriff in hand, finding one. Flip shot at the last man standing. Player decently tagged up, but now a knife into his shoulder. The swing onto the corner, and Texture is good for a second as Gen.G get their second round win and their second thrifty.
Yeah, great utilization of their utility here.
Stop buying rifles.
Yeah, you don't need them.
You'll win the game.
They're good enough with the Sheriffs, dog. Yeah, who cares? Just screw it. I mean, that's, God, Texture.
Snappy.
Yeah, and I mean, I think for Texture, you know, for him, he really wanted to go back to Duelist. I mean, Meteor, look, the guy's got gun skill, that's for sure. He's got that in spades. He was the Duelist carry for Gen.G last year. This year, shifting over to that Sentinel role more often than not, and he's still got plenty of talent. That is an absolute fact. Still a lot of ults for Gen.G as well here in this rifle round. Let's see if they can use them.
Ooh, Jumkin again, getting blinded, but manages to exit. Flip shot and now caught. Moving up under Nest towards Great. Trying to get that flank angle, but Meteor was ready for it. Shuts that down. Gecko now gone. A hell of a lot of utility lost here for RRQ in this defense. There's still so many ults to work with on the side of Gen.G if they even feel the need to invest them here.
You got that flank coming from Xpharaoh potentially. Here you go, counter.
Lockdown for lockdown.
Yeah, counter lockdowns gonna be employed. Munchkin on that no command still yet, and you have Qeon's ult, so a lot of post plant. Oh, we saw him.
He faces away.
Oh, did you not see him?
No, he didn't see him. He turned away just before Xpharaoh was going to round the corner. Still, though, he started taking his time, so isn't ready to strike. He needs to rely on the rest of his teammates to be able to stave this off, slow down Gen.G for a bit, but also keep their attention occupied towards the front of the site. He's going out, Qeon able to find one. Texture taking down Jemkin. Texture finding a second. Now it's all on that flank.
30 seconds left.
Smoked off the turret.
Spike planted.
Probably have a decent idea.
Munchkin's ready for this, though. We'll be able to shut him down. Gen.G able to go ahead and just win a straight-up rifle round for the first time in the game. Now are within touching distance of RRQ, whose lead has now shrunk down by just one round.
And this is what's so scary about this Gen.G team is top to bottom, just outrageous amounts of firepower. And this round, they're finally able to kind of get themselves in a position where they can really use this utility to great effect. You know, earlier when they had a couple of these ults available, they just weren't even able to get to the point of attack because it was so well shut down by Elmimore and Xpharaoh on the other side of the map. But now, trying to pick this A side apart, and I suspect that Ewok wants to take a little bit of a breather here and talk things over.
A nice little proactive timeout here from the side of RRQ. Ewok seeing these rounds getting away from them, seeing some of the overheat, overzealousness on some of these defensive rounds, so wants to try to intervene now. Everybody cool, calm, and collected. Having this map get away from them could end up very well being catastrophic, given that this is their map pick. They're the ones feeling the most confident coming into this icebox. I don't know if they expected to have a damn near mirrored composition on the opposite side. I mean, if, you know, for context, none of the partner teams, at least here in Pacific, have been scrimming each other whatsoever.
Correct.
So everybody going in relatively blind as far as what their opponents are going to be bringing to the table.
And not only that, Achilleos, RRQ hasn't played a single match in the offseason. We no idea what they had in store for us. We got to see a little bit of Gen.G.
Yeah.
But this is certainly surprising. I mean, I thought maybe somebody would still stick with a Sage at least potentially because the sights didn't change. Oh my.
Sure, again going for it, but I mean RRQ kind of just opting to play this one out a bit more quietly, but the lurk does get spotted, as does Xpharaoh. So the sneaky tactics, unfortunately here for RRQ, not going to be coming up with a profit for them. 0 point identifying there's nobody else further forward, so swing on the corner. The wingman can go ahead and get the plant down.
Let's see, there's a Guardian for Jemkin. Nothing doing with those shock darts. A little bit too late to stop the plant.
Straight swing out, there's another Dizzy up in the air looking for the blinds. Get the clear out and hole, Lakia. He did get that tag, so straight out down, low on HP. Flip Shredder picked off by Texture. Spawns him, and there you go. 1, 2, 3. Final shot will find him, and it's going to be 3 kills for Texture as well. A flawless round now as Gen.G continuing to heat up.
Yeah, big smiles there as Gen.G starting to dial it in a little bit. B-side has gotten a lot more difficult for the attackers with the change in those boxes on green, and they're still able to finally get it to work here. They've been shut down really well by RRQ for the first couple rounds, but now able to best them. RRQ decides to push a little bit further than we had seen them do early on in that round, and they paid the price. I mean, of course, it's an eco, so, not the biggest of deals, but now Jemkin with an operator, still Qeon with that pit, man. He's been sitting on that for a while.
Goal set there. Cloud burst into the updraft. Avoid the pop flash coming through from Munchkin. Gen.G tackling this A site very aggressively. Stray going to be forced off the angle, and hit comes in. Texture able to find Elmi more. Dark darts, bit too late there. As I believe Texture was spotted. Full flash coming in. Stray playing off the back of that one very nicely. He's able to collect the kill, brings it back into a 4v4. The pit available, but you see how far back they're playing, so it seems like Gen.G not wanting to invest that ultimate here into the round, but Xpharaoh certainly could for the retake. No, actually, they're just going to take the fight to him. Meteor and Lakia now both going to get picked apart. Qeon dropping down, swings out, can't adjust to try to get the kill. Looking for the spray there is Munchkin to try and stop the defuse, but RRQ will be able to find some stability, and they don't have to commit their ultimates to this retake.
Yeah, that one felt a bit disjointed from Gen.G. Texture so far out there without any real help to bail him out off of that flash push from RRQ. Just stuck on the other end of the site. And it's deep post plants for Gen.G, and RRQ says, cool story, why didn't you use your pit? Like, we're just going to push this space, shut you down from being able to use anything like snake bites, fragments, those kind of things that are going to be available in the post plant scenarios for Gen.G. Just rip that remaining strength out from underneath them. Blade Storm again for Texture. Still the pits, and now another thrash for Flips.
Jemkin.
Oh, Jemkin.
Yep, going on a merry walkabout down through Hall, but I mean, look at this close angle. Meteor is watching for this, and you'll obviously see the gun barrel first. Oh, it's a Dizzy, and yeah, Meteor ready for that one. Trap was set and bait taken. Fantastic kill to shut down Jemkin, who got himself up to 12 kills, but hasn't been able to add any to the tally here in a while. Flips now trying to defend that Dizzy, but Meteor just pushes forward, counts him down. Texture spots it straight up. They're on back rafters. Plant now coming in. Only more work to be done. Just getting started nicely. They're going to be taken down. That's the snake bite aspect eliminated here from the post plant. 0 point not going to be spotting anything, but seems like, I mean, they're aware that Meteor is between them. With that catch coming through, RRQ, do they want to commit to the retake? Seems like the answer likely to be yes, or maybe just a wraparound from behind. They want to try to catch any exits, it would seem, and recover the operator. Okay, so that's going to be Gen.G tying it up.
This is Meteor just reading that play so well. Had himself in a nice position to play off of that Dizzy.
Lakia is wandering in towards this. Xpharaoh, good for the shot. Making it hurt a little bit more, but the purse string's not too tight here for Gen.G. Plenty of cash still in the bank as they tie things up 5-5. I mean, these teams just inseparable in the season, constantly clashing, and seems like they're going to be inseparable on the scoreline here as well.
And so much of it, you know, last year was their fates intertwined, right? Leading down to that ending, you know, for the fate of RRQ in Gen.G's hand, you know, things like that came up. And they just absolutely insane. And their face-off in LCQ.
On my way.
It's really a great story that we have between these two teams, and already living up to expectations. I mean, this one certainly felt like a 3-mapper from the get-go. Yeah, gonna have to back up a little bit as X-Pharaoh. No opportunity to get any real vision necessarily on the full, you know, the full forces of Gen.G that are gonna be coming through towards B. Pings are out, but now you've got Flips sliding over here. Meteor back tucked into that corner.
You end up seeing a bit of a thrash v thrash. Qeon actually pushing forward. Does get a little bit of fake information fed over here to Gen.G, but now that they clear around back yellow, they know that he wasn't playing forward. I like the attempt, though.
Great delay here, though, from RRQ. Preventing this plant
Oh
coming through.
my God!
My God.
Meteor! Holy hell.
Jeez, man.
Snaps on, shuts down Flip Shadow. That means that the thrash here for RRQ is completely out of the picture. Flash coming in, Elmymore out into the open. Texture able to scoop the kill and finds himself a second one, eliminating X-Pharaoh as well. Straight up does manage to stand tall. Shuts down the enemy jet, but given that the operator is still in the hands here of Jemkin, just gonna have to wait this one out and allow for Gen.G to get themselves up to 6.
Yeah, it's got to be a save. If you want to keep the op. You have enough for rifles for sure. You might even have enough for another op, but
Elmymore sitting on 32.
yeah.
Really avoiding getting the spot there onto Estrella. Jemkin just underneath the Meteor here, who looks like he's very hungry to take that op out of his hands. On the hunt, the swing around, he spotted him. He is not going to be able to retain that one whatsoever. Like now coming in, and Estrella not going to be able to find anything else. Meteor gets himself a third in that round. As RRQ losing everything and losing the lead.
And I mean, you think back to who it was that ended, you know, the LCQ and RRQ's VCT last year. Obviously it was Gen.G, but Meteor was a big part of it. And he is showing up in a big way. Different role, different agent. Still having tons of impact. He is all over the mid part of this map, just causing so much disruption. It's so hard when you've got a player that deep into kitchen.
Oh,
Texture's got the op.
they have 3 ops.
Why not?
Texture, Lockya, and Meteor all have ops, and Texture gets the flick to shut down Jemkin. What a shot!
This is interesting. Tons of ults to work with. Qeon still has the pit.
My goodness. The flicks just in the last 2 rounds have been astounding.
Well, this is why I am the lone Gen.G believer today. It's the firepower in this team is just outrageous. Texture, I've said this before and I'll say it again, I think one of the most balanced duelists in the world. He can do a lot of things really well. He's not one of those guys who has like a calling card where he's just a great opper, he's great blade storms. He's just really good at all of it. And other than that one time he overextended, I think he's playing great.
0 point revealing nobody far forward here, as that's going to be the thrash to go and check the site. Pharaoh just tucking back on the opposite side of the wall. There's a jump up over the top, makes his presence known, managing to find one, gets a second before getting taken down by Munchkin. He gives the rest of his team a chance. The 3v3, Spike still in the hands of Lockya, the wingman at the ready. Sends it now, the pop flash timing looking good, but Elmymore still full flash, managing to find the kill, and he stops the plan, and he gets Munchkin to boot. The thrash chasing, it gets the stun. Meteor detained. It's only gonna last a little bit longer here as they try to flush him out. I thought maybe he was going to be able to redraw his weapon, but no. They will just wall bang him to death, and RRQ will be able to recover here. Picking up multiple rounds there over to Gen.G, but it's 6 and 6 to half.
What more could you ask for? Just 2 phenomenal teams going back and forth. Maybe a little bit of a kind of miscalculation here from Gen.G, thinking that 3 ops, sure, why not? We've got a ton of great oppers on this team. I mean, you got Meteor and Texture, of course. They're quite good. Munchkin's no slouch. A lot of great players on that team who can grab an op and do some damage, but didn't really befuddle RRQ too much, able to stop that plant, bailing each other out, even though the flash displaces, I believe it was Elmymore, but they're able to back him up right away. Now we switch sides. Now we really see, with these very, very similar comps, if RRQ do a little bit better on their attacker side, or if it's going to be Gen.G's defender side that holds stalwart.
25 more seconds here for the coaching staff to come with the team. Try to gain some leads here going into this second half. Solid start for RRQ, but a great rally back. Gen.G very much alive and well. And if they're going to keep hitting shots like we just witnessed from them, this could be a very bloody second half.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just been a phenomenal first half. Texture, 15-8.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we saw Jemkin. He got up with 12-3.
Yep.
And that impact just hasn't been seen. Gen.G were doing so well to shut him down and just play around him, if not away from him. Now they shift over to that defending side. RRQ going to be trying their hands here on the attack. Let's see what they've got prepped for us.
Munchkin just spraying through here. Again, the defenders have a little bit of extra room to get some good angles there. You could even do a high-low off a yellow. It can see really deep down in towards the attacker side. So for now, though, it's going to be cleared out as there was only one player over here. It's Munchkin. You have a deep push through mid. Didn't make any contact, so an immediate rotate back over.
They're just cutting their way in under tube. Shots going up top, trying to spot anything that they possibly can. Lockett was revealed there for a brief little moment. Now the wingman flank going to be coming through inside the poison orb. His own wingman going to be sent out just to try to get a daze off, but nothing to be found. So for now, fairly clean plant here from the side of RRQ. As pop flash timing is absolutely gorgeous. No way for Jeff to turn from that one, but Flipscheider swings out, managing to find two, keeping things nice and even. 3v3, a slight firepower diff here in the hands of Gen.G. It's Meteor with that Sheriff, manages to put the good use, coming up with the kill on Estrella. Can't find anything. Sparrow doing his damnedest. Finds two more, but Meteor will be the last one alive. Gets the defuse, tying up the pistol count and giving Gen.G the lead once more.
Huge hold, but RRQ committing to this B hit from the get-go. And again, with all that information that Gen.G is able to gather with their mid-push down through the tunnel, too hard. What a beautiful flash, by the way, from Munchkin. Just absolutely pinpoint accurate to set Texture up for that first kill. And Meteor with a Sheriff there to finish the job. Valiant attempt to hold, and now Texture is going to be grabbing an Outlaw. Munchkin with the Guardian. Meteor with the Sheriff still. Karen Spectre. Bulldog for Lakia. So a diverse array of arsenal for Gen.G, and immediately taking some damage trying to get that recon off. Great shot.
Okay, Texture. The only other players that we've had bring that Outlaw into the fold, and puts it to very good use. Great answering shot, though. Elmimore has always been fairly crisp when it comes down to those Sheriff shots, but this time Texture will be able to get the better of him.
I wouldn't be too surprised today as it rolls on if we see Meteor going for a few Outlaws himself. He's quite good with the Marshall, as we saw many times over the last couple of years.
Could very well do, but it seems like even knowing that this weapon is on this side of the map, they still want to try to play into a site. There are 3 players stacked up ready to greet them. Dizzy up over the top. Flash not connecting, and Texture gets the collat. Our first one so far here of the season. Jemkin now, last man standing, does recover a Bulldog. Finds himself in a 1v2. Spike stranded down behind him, 30 seconds remaining. Can he even isolate these fights? Can he predict it? No, he cannot. And will take him out. Weapons can be picked up, and that's going to be Gen.G taking away that anti-eco. But now we go into the buy round here for RRQ to see if they can get back on the horse.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, this is not a bad round for RRQ at all. Able to take some big guns away from Gen.G, do some pretty decent damage. Texture, some huge kills, of course. The collat for the 4K, absolutely ridiculous.
You can tell he wanted the ace.
Yeah. He's
trying to make it happen. Not this time, though. As he's trying to take a forward position. A little bit of a leap there out of Jemkin's book, but plenty of covering fire. And what is that? Texture! You can't be doing this!
It's not fair, man. That is not fair.
Invested, diving forward, looking for the jump there. It's going to be Locky and Texture getting swept under the rug. Man advantage now here into the hands of RRQ, but again, just given that this is the bonus, Gen.G, any more damage they could deal, even with a round loss, is still going to be feeling pretty decent for them. As everything grinds to a halt.
Munchkin pushed so far forward.
Boys cut. They check up over the top. No, they do not. The flash timing is absolutely perfect. Munchkin looked like maybe he was still going to be able to come away with something there despite the flash. Take it down. Spot there on Elmore for a brief little moment, but a great read from RRQ. They start assessing. They start spraying through the box. They get that kill across.
Meteor got a tag in there. Get some damage.
Now in. Okay, Meteor on the hunt to try to find some extra value, but wasn't expecting Jemkin up top. Ends up falling, and RRQ widely managed to go ahead and take the bonus for themselves in fairly clean fashion.
Yeah, looking really nice. Able to get some big kills. Nice little coordination there with the Thrash. Find a couple angles, a couple big kills. And they're able to just identify a player behind the box, isolate, take him out, and then not much for Meteor to do there. Jemkin just waiting with open arms. Texture Blade Storm. One away from his own is Jemkin, but
he went from 12 and 8 to 17 and 9, so I think he's back on it. Texture now on the hunt. Jemkin, oh yeah, crouching at the perfect time. Karen in the meantime, however, able to find Elmi more. Killjoy now eliminated, and Lakia escorted into a very far forward position, watching that A-main approach. Sparrow going on a lurk. Here's that movement, able to strike. Munchkin going to be cut off there on the rotate. Now that's going to force Gen.G out towards that attacker spawn. This Meteor, oh man, nearly flushed out of this one. Take it so very low, swings back out, finds one. Eventually does fall. Sparrow trying to hold that back line. It's one kill, but now it's all on Texture and Lakia. As the swing up comes in, Lakia shuts down Jemkin. Estrella, the newfound IGL here for the team. In a 1v2, Texture at 10 HP. Can he clutch it out? Noise cut.
One enemy
approaching.
remaining.
Oh, but he checks through.
Out of charges.
Catching Lakia, and that leaves him with a massive advantage. Texture just down below. Weapon not spotted, but he creeps in underneath and behind, and Texture will be able to close it out.
man, oh man, this looked so good for RRQ off the rip. They seemingly read Meteor's position, but they don't get the kill. And then he steps out and causes all kinds of chaos. Qeon on the other side, finding some impact. Texture able to just barely get his kill. That is nasty from Lakia.
Just quick adjustments, and Texture remembering to look up. The boy's back and he is happy. Able to play Duelist again at long last. I mean, Meteor, for those who aren't in the know, he gave up his Duelist spot on this team to Texture because he wanted this team around him.
You can see why. It's really good. Jemkin with blades. Sparrow does have a pit if they can get to it. So they've got rifles. Otherwise, some extra money in the back pocket. Gen.G's economy, on the other hand, is pretty dire other than Munchkin.
It's been a little bit brutal. Consistent kills coming in. Not allowing to really bank up anything. Wingman now going to be going forward. Pit invested as well. Sparrow really wanting to convert this round. Now Nanoswarm's going to get set up. Swinging around, though, is Meteor. Coming around the backside of Yellow. Hit is going to prevent him from seeing much of anything, though, but trying to fight forward, able to find Karen. Snaps over the side, takes down Texture. Pulls back, goes for the reload. Jemkin there to try to protect. Flipshotter now finding himself a third. Meteor gone. Lock, however, able to put an end to that reign of terror, but the man advantage is still very much here in the hands of RRQ. Not wanting Gen.G to get up to double digits quite just yet. Sparrow with another, taking down Munchkin. Straight out will be the finisher coming out from mid. And RRQ keep things nice and tight.
Absolutely. A great push, great angle to set up for that Viper's Pit, just enough to cover that plant. Not really able to disrupt it is Gen.G. Those post plants so tricky to deal with. Flips just pushed up. Heard the shots from Qeon, moved up to keep him off guard. Did a nice job, picks up 3 in the round for it. That wingman debates him a little bit. But still, very good stuff. And now you still have some key ultimates available on the side of RRQ. Saw a Hunter's Fury in there for Estrella. And at 9-9, this is certainly going to be a good one, feels like. I mean, everybody fighting tooth and nail, knowing what's at stake, knowing how limited the opportunities are going to be.
Yeah, I mean, even though, I mean, obviously the core of RRQ, very much the same. Jemkin, the kind of, you know, the one new addition coming through. Meteor, the only mainstay from Gen.G. But
right.
Either way, everybody on these two teams has now inherited this rivalry from last year. Gen.G wanting to keep up appearances with new head coach Solo there in the booth, wanting to be able to deliver a third shutdown to RRQ's hopes.
Yeah. It's tough, man. I mean, RRQ certainly had revenge on the mind. I'm sure as soon as they saw this matchup come through, they were chomping at the bit to see if they can do what they could not last season. Let's get a win against Gen.G. Lakia has the thrash, so does Flips. A lot of info given over here.
Here. Not sure if that was meant to try to clear out early util or if it was an oopsie on the shock dart there. Either way, though, drone to try to escort forward. Straight getting the dart out there onto Meteor. He'll back away. Push starts coming through. Jemkin spotting it for a brief little moment. Sees 2. Noting them now over towards screens. Gen.G just working their way over. Is the mosh pit going to be thrown down? That interrupts that plan. And now sent out. Dizzy connecting. Jemkin having the drop down. Hunter's Fury crashing across. Elmimore pushing up. Looking for the target. Ooh, what a snappy headshot. Gives himself a second. Munchkin is able to find one with the classic, but that's as good as it's going to get here. RRQ, the weapon advantage, push forward aggressively. They managed to tie us up 9-9.
Yeah, and obviously it's tough. You're on the eco. You know, you're so outgunned. It's very difficult to get something going in that situation, and they had to rotate quick over. Tried to all just make it go from the screens in the back of sight, and really well covered. Just chasing down Texture there. No problemo. Now, Operator, Texture very, very good with it. Very consistent.
I mean, honestly, the other big thing is that Estrella, he did commit the Hunter's Fury there, and you have that lockdown now in the back pocket here for Meteor, so
true.
Clearing it out is going to be very difficult. They'll rely on, you know, a lot of different lineups. The mosh pit potentially there from Flipside to try to catch it. As Texture very far forward, now turns his sights over towards Garage. Estrella lurking up into that position. The drone will chase Texture away for the time being.
Still leaning over towards the A site with this spike. It's going to be Lucky on point of contact, yeah.
That's all enough there. It's going to be the back away and the rotate now coming in from Munchkin. Lockdown used preemptively. The wingman is there to go for the plan, so they can grab this one, and now they have that slightly delayed, but
spike
with the the spike getting interrupted, plant not coming through, so still plenty of time to work with here for Gen.G. Just pushing up far enough to try to grab the spike, seemingly impossible here for RRQ in that little window of opportunity that they had. Right now coming through, there's a full flash coming in, is Texture not quite connecting with the shot. Meteor not realizing that Estrella was still going to be pushing forward. Jemkin now puts Munchkin down. They lost Elway more in the process, but Lockheed going to be taken out by Xfero. Rez, unlikely. Texture nearly finding himself another collab. Cleans up one, but still everything for him to do. The Thrash on the hunt. Time dwindling. Spike needs to be planted. And Texture, he might be able to ruin their day, but no. Flipshider catches him in the head, and RRQ will once again take the lead.
It's phenomenal movement there from Texture. Dodges the Thrash, able to avoid the backstab from Estrella earlier, keeping track of it and getting above RRQ where they're not expecting it, and yet still RRQ able to react. Snappy, snappy stuff from them. Elmi Moore and others. Jemkin, of course, looking very, very good. Xfero as well, really feeling it. So you gotta like what you're seeing from RRQ. Is finally seemingly start to come together as Gen.G once again going to be put on an eco now. They've been pretty decent on ecos here on this map. But on the defender side, maybe a bit of a different story.
2 closeouts there, but Texture going to be punished nice and early, and that was the heaviest investment they had. The Guardian shut down very swiftly. As you can see, everybody kind of drifting forward, trying to take that forward space in A. It's Meteor trying to hold things down from Kitchen and Tomb, and he absolutely will. 2 kills for him, and that's exactly how GenG continue to get these thrifty round wins.
What is that, Meteor? That isn't fair. I mean, you got the Dizzy right in your face. Just ridiculous.
Oh, do they know? Yes, they do. Estrella now taken down. Munchkin wanting a piece of the action. Finds the kill. Spike still all the way back here outside of A main. Only more gets himself into a forward position. But he is going to have to be the one that slams the door in GenG's faces if RRQ want to stop this from getting tied again. Moved up. A decent spot. A close angle needing to be cleared. Elmore finding one. Sliding out now, but you can see the pings coming down. GenG having a very good idea of where he's at. He cannot get the follow-up shot. Xpero now left all on his lonesome in a 1v3. They're lined up for him just a bit, but can't kill Lockyer fast enough to try to get the transfer. Munchkin with a recovered weapon will put him down, and GenG will keep it neck and neck.
Unbelievable. These ecos from GenG are just fantastic. I mean, didn't you say it earlier that they should just use sheriffs?
Yep. Just, you know.
I think you may be onto something.
We'll take a look back.
I want
to
see this.
Meteor's
This is
POV.
Yeah, after the Dizzy is the one I want to see. Oh, he hits it and then repeaks. Disgusting.
Just basically right under the Dizzy bubble. Estrella just showing that shoulder. It's enough to get him punished. 2 very crucial kills into the finisher there from Munchkin to pick up 3. GenG not going quietly into the very late night. You can see, despite the delays and everything like that, everybody in this lobby is wide awake.
For sure. Once again, trying to get that operator to get some value for Texture. Early util plus pickup of the orb. If there's any more comes out, should kind of give it away. Yeah, here you go, executes on.
Dart goes out, Dizzy as well, but really being noted, GenG in a fairly disconnected position. Now likely going to be trying to clear out that wingman. The Nano Swarm is going, and that's going to be the spike once again interrupted. Util timing's just working out very well here for the side of GenG, not allowing for flips to just get those easy free plants down. Now he's got to push up and recover it. Sees the Nano coming through, backs away. Still time available to RRQ if they want to go for a rotate, and they still have Elmore in a very laid-back position outside of A main. That 0 point is going to tell all.
They're just keeping their feet planted, waiting to try to figure out a way that they can get through. They have to wait for the toxic screen to come up.
All going, no timing shot there from Texture. Had he actually gone for it, would have been rewarded with a kill onto Estrella. And they go working their way forward. Sparrow able to find one, but quickly traded back. Texture finding the elimination. Spike still in hand, but now going to have to be stuck to this plant. Meteor dropping down off the top. Texture finding Jemkin. Now it's all on Flips and Elmore. Full flash on a Meteor, but they just don't know it. Flips can't try to go for the swing out. He's eating that team flash, so they try to go ahead and get the 50 on him, and they will be able to do just that. Texture with 3 with the operator as GenG once again working their way into a lead.
Maybe just a little bit too static. You can see this from both teams on their attacker side, where sometimes they're just really tunneled on committing to a certain side of the map. And you know, with the toxic screen there, you feel like you kind of have to use that to get your approach to get to the spike. And GenG does a great job adjusting. They were having a little bit of trouble dealing with the wingman plants earlier in this half. Now not so much. Great flash. Again, Munchkin having some impact with that KO. Or just a friendly reminder, he doesn't play it very much. Some of those flashes, especially earlier on, that one he had around yellow was ridiculous.
Well, it's going to be the final timeout call here from RRQ. Rock trying to pump the brakes and reassess what's going wrong at the moment here on this attack. Again, this is their map pick, so they don't want Icebox to get away from them.
Yeah, I mean, I think ideally you want to spread the map a little bit more. Try not to overcommit some of that utility, because they dump so much of their info and space gathering utility on that initial execute. It doesn't go their way, and then they're stuck. And right, you have to commit to get Flips back up there to get the spike, and and then they plant and try to confuse Gen.G, but Gen.G's got enough information over on the other side of the map that they don't really need to budge either. So let's see if they can maybe find some success. Maybe the doggo give a little luck over to Xvero and company.
Worked for House Boss, maybe it'll work for me.
Exactly. Certainly.
Need like
it's all about the plushie luck.
7 more.
Yeah, you need to accumulate a fat stack of plushies.
Actually going for the very fast push up here. Situated on vent. A very narrow close angle, but drone sent in. Will get cleared out. Allows him to stick around. Qeon actually able to find one. Flipshider taken down. Over at green. Now the back away. And realistically, I mean, this is just such a tough position. RQ likely with a great idea that that operator is going to be situated on A. A member gone over on that B site. You know that the double stack is there, and Meteor waiting. Saying, hey, Xfair, you know that they added a window here?
Tough angle to check. It's a tough angle for Meteor to hold, actually. You know,
it's just not something that they had to deal with.
Right, exactly. That window is, I'd say it's a pretty balanced window, to be honest. But I'd say if you can get up into that position as the attackers and you check, you have a fair shot to win that fight for sure. But
Qeon once again looking maybe get himself
30 seconds left.
Another elimination as that fight does come down. Damage just has to be eaten, but it's not too much there for Estrella, so he's able to back away. But 3v5 for the hold, I mean, the null command available here for Munchkin.
You have nothing but a nano for utility for this post plant.
It's going to have to be on raw aim. Jemkin with that hot start. Can he keep them in this? The dash not going to be able to be used. No flanks to be concerned about here, not that they are aware of it. So the fuse gets started here. The swing out. Munchkin, snappy. Switches back over to the right. There you have it. Munchkin will be put down on the floor, but he can be rezzed. And it is a flawless as Gen.G now look to steal the map away from RRQ.
Again, Gen.G is starting to get a feel for this, like how RRQ is wanting to play. They're getting great timings on some of their util, not overcommitting in bad spots. That's just not fair, man. Okay, that's just unfair. This is like just, you know, Meteor in a better position. But that shot from Qeon was not fair. That ain't. Ugh. I mean, things happen.
It's stuff like that that just goes to show, like, this is why this guy got picked up. This is why it just came across him in solo queue and just went, hey, I think you should try out for this team. Lockheed going to be able to find Jemkin. Be more answering back, however. Shuts down that enemy Gecko as RRQ very much all in here on that A site. But Texture lurking in the back. Able to scope in, finds Ellie, draws out the plays, finds Estrella, looks for a little bit more. The dash over the side, can't quite find that third kill, but the damage is dealt. Flip shot it down to 39. The 2v3, the pit, still available. There's Xfero going to be investing his. Meteor drifting around from a potentially unexpected angle, comes in from the back, finds the kill, flip shutter now, last man standing, gets the headshot to keep them in the game. RRQ, one more round to take us into our second overtime of the night.
The thing I'm struggling with right now is not just that it's late and I'm tired. Like that's not it.
You're supposed to be back at the home by now.
What?
Sorry you missed apple pie night, Grandma.
Yeah.
You were saying?
I do like apple pie. There's nothing wrong with that. No, I'm saying like Qeon has his ult again for forever, and he could have like counter pitted around the corner or something there, and at least caused a little bit more confusion. I mean, that's what's actually giving me a little bit of pause. As good as Qeon is with his guns, I want to see a little bit more. I mean, Texture's good with his guns too.
And he is. He's taking down a nice early kill here from Texture. Back all the way up here to safety, but now the lockdown going to be coming through. He's actually going to maybe look to swing this corner. Jemkin watching for it. The flash to try to escort. I thought maybe he was actually going to dream to try to get the shot across, but instead he's just going to have to try to make it out, get around to safety. He just barely does. Looked like he was going to be detained for sure, but now Plant getting ready to come through. Thrash led forward. Chase coming in, and I believe the Taint is there, and Texture sniping Jemkin out. Sparrow able to just find one, but there's so much more work to be done.
One enemy remaining.
Texture finds himself a third. The wingman set. Take a look here.
Well,
And
map 1 is in the bag for Gen.G, and you know what? That wasn't very obvious going through every single round back and forth between Gen.G and RRQ. Now, both sides had amazing plays. Jemkin was also on fire, but why was it not enough, Quack?
It just didn't feel like he could create enough space. You know, a lot of times RRQ were trying to formulate their plans around Jemkin, but if he's not allowed to get those opening picks, it's just so much more difficult for RRQ to create that space. And a lot of times in the first half, Gen.G's game plan centered around making sure that Jemkin would not be able to get kills.
Yeah, and that's the other part, is that Gen.G proved that all 5 of them can take the duel against Jemkin. Meanwhile, on the RRQ side, not all 5 of them could take the duel against Texture, Meteor, and sometimes, you know, a Qeon. I mean, all 5, right? They were definitely outmatched in terms of firepower. So that part Gen.G has already proven. But I also think Gen.G has impressed me more than I would have thought optimistically. And Texture, my God. Billy was a favorite that we're not kidding. 13-11 scoreline, 377 ACS, 33 kills total. He has a 2.0 KD and 7 first kills. Like, these are stat lines of a dream. And if you have been following Korean Valorant for a while, to see Texture and Meteor put up these numbers together, like, this is what the Gen.G roster was meant to produce.
Yeah, and so many of those first kills, or even kills alone, came from op kills and also just support from Munchkin. There were several God flashes, especially around B site, that just got thrown so many times, RQ didn't really know how to react to it. I mean, Gen.G in this form just really looks incredible. At the same time, the Gecko coming in was also another thing that was really useful.
Yeah, the double Gecko.
Yeah, well, the Gecko, first of all, on the side of Gen.G, tying in with the KO. Clearly, they had practiced this a lot. The way they were throwing out the Dizzies alongside the flash drives, just timing their utility. In fact, while this was RQ's pick, I would say in terms of chaining utility, Gen.G looked better prepared. Also, they worked their comp a lot better as well. They knew how to strike onto the site with it, and then they didn't feel the need to push out once they were on the defensive side because their retakes were going to be just as strong with the double flashes. Meanwhile, RRQ, I mean, they definitely had some questionable pushouts on the defensive side as well, just trying to go for these contact plays when you have a lot more info gathering abilities. And then again, I mean, when Texture's hitting shots like this, what do you do?
Now, one thing that was really surprising was not 1, not 2, but 3 thrifty rounds by Gen.G.
And that was one of the biggest issues as well. I mean, so many of those were rounds that RRQ should have won. what happened? How did they kind of lose that? It's just something that you really want to think about, because at times it just feels as though Gen.G really knows how to pick them apart, and RRQ doesn't expect it.
And it almost felt like RRQ was kind of playing, they were expecting to play the Gen.G that I mentioned I was afraid of seeing, the slow Gen.G, the one who's always going to wait for fights. So then they just said, well, we can always push through and get contact first on these eco rounds, or anti-eco rounds rather. And then they forgot that these are just some god aimers here in Korea on the squad of Gen.G. They start to lose out on that. So I think that was a good, that was a healthy mix of RRQ maybe greeting a little bit, not being patient enough, but then also Gen.G just saying, listen, we'll take the kills with whatever weapon we're given.
Right, there are several rounds. Texture really went for that Blade Storm or the Sheriff, and then hit up around a nest and really expected for RRQ to show up and then pick them off that way. And that's why RRQ really struggled. I will say though, RRQ had some little moments of greatness. I really like, you know, those rounds where flips, for example, will, you know, maybe not so much in terms of utility, but just being a little bit unorthodox in the timing at which he pushes. And then Gen.G doesn't really know or expect him to be around there. And that's how they managed to steal some rounds away. Zafaro as well, I mean X-Pharaoh, but it's not quite enough to bring them over.
Now, what do we need more of from Gen.G? It is so clear that their firepower was brilliant. But, you know, Paperthin had mentioned this with Qeon. There was, while he had great firepower, there was something really critical near the end of the match where he didn't end up using his Viper utility.
Yeah, and we see this a lot with a lot of new recruits that are picked up for their mechanical skill. They kind of forget that I could make this even easier for myself. Or they're like, well, I would rather just like take the aim duel, because if I go into the pit, then like I don't have as much vision. And obviously they won, so it's like, sure, it worked out. But yeah, there are some questions to be had there. However, I would say, I mean, maybe the other veterans can help him out with that a little bit more. And I think they're also just trusting in him a little bit, right? Just not calling for that before the round, because they could always just like put up the pit right away, right? On any round. Like the IGLs could have called for that. So a little bit of an interesting thing. We'll see. Maybe this is going to bite them back when they continue to face strong opposition. Well, I will give credit to Munchkin, right? The IGLing in terms of not necessarily just mid-rounding, but taking previous round and applying, okay, this is what RRQ's default is. This is how they want to play their comp. These are the weaknesses. And then correctly applying that. Starting to put Meteor on these aggressive lurks, taking those aim duels because Meteor is strong enough to do that. That really started to shake RRQ up.
Oh yeah, that one round where Meteor was watching the window up around mid, that was amazing. And it's something that, you know, Gen.G can really make use of. Now, I mean, this was just Icebox. They were really good at that. But then moving forward, I think they picked Split for a reason, right? I mean, you have to think about this entire roster and, of course, Texture on the Jet. Split is a map that, like you mentioned, Will, really contact heavy. Once you go in, you're already in the site. So how can they really kind of break apart RRQ? I mean, we haven't really seen much from both sides now.
Yeah, my concern now on the RRQ side is what they showed on Icebox was a composition that was meant to set up Jemkin, right? And once other people started taking content and losing duels, or Gen.G just not giving them the space to do the full setup, they couldn't break in. If you have a single duelist setup where you're waiting for the beautiful set plays to come out on Split, it's not going to work out. And it is single duelist, but look at the side of Gen.G. It's the double duelist with Jet and, of course, Raze. It's going to be Texture and Meteor. I mean, that's why you have players like that.
Yeah, we're going with a Sentinel free play from the side of Gen.G. RRQ, though, you know, look, they did lose the first map, but it was a close game. I see they have Cypher in the play here. How do you think this is going to play out, Quack?
I mean, I feel like I'm just getting excited because Meteor is back on that Jet. That was something that I really liked watching him last year. I was a little bit sad thinking he's going to be on that Sentinel, but now he's showing up again. It's more for RRQ that they have to catch up against Gen.G in this map.
All right, well, now we're going to find out if the buck stops here, or we're going to continue on to the third map. We're going to go to our casters, Achilleos and Paperthin.
Thank you guys very much. Yes, here we go. Let's jump into map number 2, see whether or not Gen.G are going to get the clean closeout like T1 before them, or if RRQ will be able to fight back and take this all the way into that third and final map of Sunset, which the sun has long since set. As we now crest past midnight here in South Korea. Players on stage being real troopers here. Move forward, Texture blast packing himself up over the top. Takes a bit of damage there.
And this is what I was kind of curious about coming into split if we were going to see the double duelists from Gen.G. Both Texture and Meteor can swap between Jet and Raze efficiently, and it's going to actually be Texture on the Raze, giving Meteor an opportunity to once again shine on the Jet. See how this is going to work. Cypher, though, could be tricky to deal with eventually, but he's over on the other side of the map.
Yeah, considering he's pushing that wall right there. And, almost gets caught with util in hand, spotting another one there. Munchkin making his way forward, up through the cloud. Let's get taken down. Xparrow trying to anchor the
Spike
site.
down A.
Finds one.
One enemy
Good
remaining.
fire there from Flipshider in from behind, comes up with a decent little bit of damage. Just find the kill. Now Meteor, the last man standing, 10 HP with a frenzy in hand, almost dashes out into the open. They're double facing him, and he will get taken down. RRQ will find themselves a second pistol round win here in the series once more.
Yeah, that's a big win for RRQ. The more you can shut down this attacker-sided comp of Gen.G, the better.
I mean, really, really fast fence control there from the side of Gen.G, but
Yeah.
not quite ready for all the wraparounds that are coming at them.
Yeah, and it was really good bailout play from Estrella. Even though he gets stuck in kind of a bad spot, he's got great cover from the rest of the team, and like you said, great reaction from RRQ to get to the other side of the map. Judge for flips over towards Mail. Everybody else going right into the maw of the Astra.
Xparrow just going for the jiggle peeks here, and will take a nasty bit of damage. Nice double peek. Try to put him low. The spray comes through. Wolf does get taken, I believe.
Yeah.
Meteor just going to go creeping forward. Dash is going to expire, so now just has to stay put.
He's got
There
that
is a-
Sheriff again.
He does. There's a Judge on the other side, up in Mail.
This is exactly what RRQ wants. They want to funnel Gen.G into this Judge.
Be Johnny on the spot when it comes down to these shots, but Xparrow will be able to get the double headshot to finish him off. Flash sent through, spray continuing, and it's just so much damage across. Texture down to 3, Locky at 42. HP bars absolutely wrecked here on the side of Gen.G. Potentially making some very easy collections here on the kills for Jemkin.
And they're just trying to creep their way
30
up.
seconds left.
And they're going right into his open arms, turns away for a moment. And yeah, they just slow creep up.
think he was
Great read.
Expecting the flash.
Yeah, he's trying to play anti.
Cage.
Ends up getting caught off guard, and that is a weapon recovered into the hands of Munchkin now. Only more, however, waiting inside the Nebula. Goes for the spray. Flipshider
10
able to find
seconds
one.
left.
Taking out Texture, but Plant can come in.
Spike
It's
planted.
an opportunity here for the side of Gen.G as Locky just doing what he can, offering up some heals here to Munchkin. With Orb pushed out, but Elmi Moore swinging in a little bit wider, does manage to find the kill. It's a hell of a lot of damage, down to 1 HP. Locky just juggling that weapon back, hoping that Qeon's going to be able to put to good use. Finds one, can't get the second. A fadeaway headshot from Estrella will spare them here. 2 losses in the round, but RRQ starting things off quite nicely, much like they did on Icebox.
Yeah, and just a really pivotal point in this round is Elmi Moore deciding to push off the back of that poison cloud being thrown out, knowing that he has just enough time to get in there, get a few shots out before his opponent can, as they swap back to their gun. It's a really good read on that situation there. Follow up with some judges. That is pretty sick there, Estrella. That was pretty clean. The ghost, but okay. So you did what you got to do. A little bit of damage done by Gen.G, but still the judge to be considered. Guardian as well for Estrella. A couple Bulldogs. Still a ghost floating around in the mix for RRQ, and Gen.G will be taking their time exploring Garage.
Cam set up, waiting a spot, and reveal to C2.
Camera taken out.
It's the reveal, and more now. Considering whether or not he wants to go for the ADS. There's the jiggle peek, there's the punish again.
Cage triggered.
Cage now popped, swings out. It's just a second too late to potentially find the kill. Just forcing them back for now.
Both teams reading each other well. Meteor making contact in mid with Estrella. Neither finding any damage. Estrella, oh!
Okay, get the one shot there. Trailblazer goes in, and look at the chase! Meteor rushing forward. Just catching him before he can recover the weapon. Kill comes in. Elmi Moore now. to be in a world of pain, but no, somehow that Trailblazer does not connect. What tracking? Does manage to find Texture as he jumps down with Meteor quick on the reply. Jeddah will intercept, takes out Karen, but Meteor
30 seconds left.
picking up a third. Suddenly is in a potential position to find an ace.
Tons of damage done already.
Les Munchkin takes this one. Oh! Jemkin somehow coming away with that kill. Now Meteor, yeah, feeling it. One more to go. You can see the wraparound coming through Jemkin. Rotating around towards Garage. The time is dwindling. He's got all the util to try to work with. Meteor now sussing out that it maybe isn't Garage, but no! Turns away for a brief little moment, ends up getting taken down. Ace denied, and potentially another bonus conversion here for RRQ if Jemkin can win this out, and he does! 3 kills for him in the round. As RRQ, again, just echoing their performance that we saw in Icebox. 3 rounds consecutively right off the bat. The question is, does Gen.G get another thrifty going into round 4?
Yeah, I mean, this one, just a bit off there is Munchkin. A little bit wider than he expected. Maybe hoping for just the slow walk. But it was a swing there from Jemkin that got him that first kill. Started opening up things for himself.
Oh, this is a
Meteor
nice spot.
does have a Blade Storm. The Judge for Munchkin, couple stingers.
Looks like maybe some reassessment on the buy, but it seems like Judge is going to stick through.
Get out of my way.
And maybe just a very fast hit here onto the A site. Double push up ramp for a brief moment before they drift back down. Trailblazers sent out. Pain shells towards Heaven. Head spotted, but Elmi Moore catching Meteor just a little bit faster than he gets caught. Push up now into the Cyber Cage, ring around the Rosie, but snapping from Elmi Moore finds the headshot, sends out that Nero theft. It's the ping down onto the rest of the players. The push up, Lakia dead, abandoning the spike at the base of the ramp. Where Elmi Moore seems like he is hungry for a couple more kills. Tries swinging out. The Judge is going to be put to use, but it's just going to be the 1 kill found. It's, I mean, a triple face now at the top of the ramp. Qeon able to find 1, but won't get much more than that. Still closer than he might have considered, but this time RRQ do stop Gen.G from picking up the thrifty.
Yeah, Elmi Moore is feeling it on this Cypher. He's so quick to react with not just his utility, but his guns. Estrella as well, having some snappy shots. Just trying to push up this ramp, and the crossfire too much to deal with. Yeah, Karen able to find the wallbang with the Sheriff, but Gen.G flirting with another eco if they can't get this round to go. You do have Cosmic Divide for Karen, and my boy got a good ult. Let's use it.
So they'll only 3 orbs collectively away from 3 ultimates are RRQ. Their own Cosmic Divide, Showstopper, as well as the Seekers. Which if you're going to be playing into that Astra ult, the Seekers can certainly help spot out everybody as that guiding light from Estrella, noting some players here over at ramp.
And look how quick they are to shift off that little bit of info. Gen.G hasn't been really keen to switch sides of the map.
Shots exchanged between Texture and Estrella. Estrella getting the worst of it. Down to 43.
And now they recognize that things are maybe a little bit more difficult than they expected here. A little bit more contact than they'd like. You're going to leave Meteor, try to buy a little bit of time, try to show that you're still using that jet over on the other side of the map as a duelist to keep attention.
There's that Showstopper, but the wall comes back up, and that does allow for Meteor to drift his way back through A main and get out scot-free. Meanwhile, the rest of the team set up here at B, pushing through Garage. Trailblazer will spot Xfero here at backside. Paint shell sent his way. The jump forward, but the grab well, setting up for the kill. Full flashes there. He pulls back away to safety, but can he find more value? Paint shells flushing him forward. Xfero, good for 3. Now is surrounded. He's got some rescue. Coming in though, as Meteor up over the top, drops right in front of him. And he won't get the chance at the ace, but he got so damn close. Estrella able to find the final kill as RRQ continuing on their merry way.
I mean, just so well handled here by Xfero, all on his own, able to use his own utility and his own positioning to best Gen.G. Knowing that somebody's going to be coming at him, catches a perfect timing on that grab well to slow up Texture. Swings to the other side, finds a couple more, just reading that so well. Yeah, you got to take a timeout now. This is going really sideways really fast for Gen.G. This is their map pick. Expecting to maybe feel comfortable, and instead they're getting shellacked.
Yeah. Been a very dominant beginning here. RRQ seemingly having an incredibly strong read regarding how Gen.G is trying to pilot this defender, or this attacker side, I should say.
Yeah.
Like you said, the more you can shut down that attacking half, the more well poised you are as you get ready to go onto it yourself.
And precisely, especially against a double duelist comp, where on split, that's if you're going to lead into that, you're hoping to do a little bit more damage. And this time around, for Gen.G, it just hasn't quite been there. Haven't really been able to get comfortable on any of their executes. You know, they try to push some space, they try to find an early pick, and rarely are they able to find it. With RRQ, they're reading their positions really well, and the snappy shooting is certainly helping. Some of those shots from Elmi Moore and Xfero have been, and Estrella as well, have been really, really on point.
Watching this spot.
And now you've got Showstopper to worry about. The Seekers you were talking about earlier, Achilles are in play, their own Cosmic Divide. And only the lone hero Phantom for Meteor. Everybody else Sheriffs. Few ults really close to being online for Gen.G.
Yeah, which will time out well for them getting ready to go into the next buy round.
Oh no.
As Meteor wanting to try to clear through, spots one, goes for the spray. Full flash coming in, but up over the top, back down into the poison orb, and somehow he manages to survive. Had that blast pack been a little bit closer, he might have just died, but Qeon does it again. 2 quick kills. The Sheriffs coming up with the goods. The B site broken open. And Flipshider not noting that Meteor was still hovering around there. Flip's now dropping down. Wanted to push forward. Boombot getting the spot for a quick little second there. Swing out though.
My.
This time Qeon not going to be able to find the shot. Elmi Moore a little bit faster with it, and that is going to send Texture packing all the way back over towards that A site. But Meteor gets himself in this position to find the flank.
Should be able to snag up a gun along the way. Elmi Moore.
Elmi Moore is just ready for it.
My God.
I think maybe Meteor conscious about somebody coming in from behind, pushing down the stairs to try to go on this rotate, but now the camp's identified Texture. He knows he's just got to go for the site. Is going to get caught by the trap wire, is going to get slowed up. Moves the dart. Plant would give him a showstopper. Can he use that to find 2 quick kills? They're closing in on him so fast, and I think he pulled it. I think I saw the animation. I could be wrong, but time will tell. I couldn't hear the audio cue, but if he lost it there, oh, Elmi Moore fired up, then that is just going to be salt in the wounds.
It's just kind of over-reading the map here. You know, Meteor gets...
He lost it.
He lost it. Oh, boy.
Yep. That is catastrophic.
Oh,
Thought,
man.
if I just clear this corner.
Goes
Yep.
there. This goes here.
That's painful for Gen.G.
Yep. That is a cherry on top for RRQ. One less piece of util to worry about. Still some decent ones here for Gen.G, but so far getting them into a strong position to be able to actually utilize them has been difficult. Showstopper going out. Lakia going to be taking a little bit of damage as Elmi Moore is able to find one. Straight up pushing up. Lakia taken out. Tradebacks come through, and Gen.G, I think, was trying to turn from the flash, ends up getting caught and eliminated. As this is just one of the wonkiest rounds we've seen so far. Seems like RRQ still in a strong position. Heron rotating out. Does have the spike in hand, but has to shoot the Seeker. Jig is up. They know he's on the site. The tap coming through, the jump peek. Estrella not getting caught by it. Sees Flips, knows that he's dropped down. And Estrella will just be able to hold a hard line, eliminating him as RRQ continue just running away with this. 7-0 now.
I mean, this crunch looked like Gen.G might have been able to bail out of it a little bit outside of B main, but in the lobby there, they're just eventually shut down. Again, this is just such a snappy team. These Phantoms working a treat for RRQ. And no answers to be found for Gen.G. They've tried fast hits. They've tried to move around the map. Nothing working. It seems like at every twist and turn, they're either outguessing or kind of underestimating the positioning of RRQ. And now they've got a pit. Give Flips the opportunity. Try to get in, really keep them at bay, or potentially now going to be secured. Elmi Moore with another neural theft. Xfero still sitting on his wall. Munchkin now with a pit. Lakia has the Seekers. Let's see if they commit them. Try to clear space. On to A. Meteor with just a judge. Actually passes it over to Munchkin for the pit.
Flash coming through, and looks like fire will be met with fire. Seeker's going to be cleaned out, but Heron able to find two, but Estrella answering back. Tries to keep them in this one, but ultimately it's going to be Gen.G with that man advantage. Elmimore able to give a parting gift kill over to Munchkin.
That's the pit.
Swiftly dealt with. The pit is going to be gone. But now Flipshider having to deal with Texture and Lakia. Sends out a shot. They know his position. They're playing a little bit more spread out there. Spite going to be sent down, trying to force him back, trying to stop him from wrapping around. Flips, you can tell he just has no idea where Texture's positioned. It's just back screen on the site, but he's just staying stalwart, staying statuesque. Sat in place, and as he tries to go for the drop down, the kill will be found. In round 8, Gen.G will finally get themselves a win.
And it's still not easy. It's still tooth and nail just to get that one round. I mean, that contest right at the bottom of ramp here. I mean, great stuff from Qeon, and then Estrella answered right back. I mean, Estrella is really in it on this map. So quick, RRQ here, just able to reset so nicely after that tough loss on Icebox.
There's no chance to even try to celebrate off the back of that one. Stay focused up. I mean, Gen.G are in a potential spot where they could rescue this half. If they can make it up to 5, hell, even an 8 and 4, might feel pretty decent about it. But as that trap wire gets the reveal, Lakia gets struck down. Elmimore quick to collect. Spike now going to be picked up. Jemkin stopping Meteor from pushing forward, and Elmimore gets that retrigger, gets the kill. And Jemkin will find himself a second as well. Girl depth out, Karen surrounded, taken down, and in reply, RRQ, they find themselves with a flawless win to continue pushing forward. 8 rounds now for them.
And this is just RRQ happy to give up a little bit of space, and Meteor just pushing too far on his own, not able to win these duels that they so desperately need. Jemkin just waiting with open arms a little bit.
What a drag across.
Yeah, that was not easy to recorrect that aim. Able to do so. But again, they dodge all the early utility, and then they just wait back to say, come to us. And then it's that one trap wire that isn't accounted for that catches Lakia in transition with Spike, and that's the round just completely thrown into disarray and falling apart for Gen.G.
Big change up here from Xfaro. Hasn't taken this position yet. Question is, does Meteor check forward on the entry? Or Texture, whichever one decides to go first. Do they go for the quick look left? Oh boy. Well, Sand Flash comes in, and yep, Texture privy to it. Comes up with a kill. Just back down. A little bit of damage, but nothing too concerning. Drop down from Flips. He ends up getting full Flash, but Jemkin suddenly on with 3 kills. Potential for an ace here. It's Karen so low, but Elmimore will be able to take him down, and that now means that it's all on Munchkin. Sheriff in hand, rotating through the defender's spawn. One shot will finish off the enemy raise, but Elmimore, with as snappy as he's been, going to prove to be a much more resilient target.
Are they going to be able to read this is the real question.
For the time being, neither of them playing in towards his sight line, so Munchkin has to come well out into the site. They split apart, so...
Does he pit first?
It'd be so
30
risky.
seconds left.
It would give up the game so very swiftly, and it looks like, yeah, now Munchkin is watching for it, has noted it. Doesn't get the shots in the manner that he was looking for, but... Okay, the readjustment comes in. Munchkin able to find the kill, and Elmimore not trying to rush it down. And now he's in with a shot, but can't quite line up the head. Elmimore still standing, keeps them well in the lead.
It's just so tough for Gen.G. I mean, everybody playing so well off of each other here for RRQ. What in the world, Jemkin? Just
absolutely disgusting.
Just ridiculous. And just, it seems like at every twist and turn that there's any opportunity for Gen.G, it's just shut right down. Munchkin able to find at least the one, but yeah, I mean, you gotta.
Yeah, I mean, given just the disadvantage,
you need these 2
timeout
rounds.
has to be burned. Gen.G throwing everything in the kitchen sink at this one here to see if they can get something back. 9 and 3, I mean, that used to be the borderline, the absolute limits of feeling okay about old Split when it was so defender-sided. These days, when you're running a double duelist especially, not so much.
Exactly, and I'm just really curious to see how Gen.G is going to adapt here. I mean, I think they just need to play for each other a little bit more. To keep it simple, if I'm a coach in this situation, I'm probably just saying just play off of each other, guys. It seems like a lot of times some of these fights get isolated, or you're not really communicating very well with who's positioned where and who's covering what angles. It seems like every once in a while RRQ able to find some opportunities to get some freebies. And that's really costly, especially on a map like Split, where small mistakes can completely throw around into disarray. Another divide and pit, showstopper and divide on the other side for RRQ. So ult's available. One away from a showstopper is Texture as well. See if they can make a play for him to get potentially that showstopper available, but instead they're just going to try to push up mid, and Flip's reading it pretty well here to at least buy a little bit of time and then bail out as he doesn't have any real assistance available from the other side.
Pulls back. Until they're still worried about that Viper wall, so concern with potential push up onto that A ramp. As Jemkin continues to hold forward. Looks like he's going to try to go off the back of this one.
Oop.
The dash away. Showstopper not going to be able to find much value. A little bit of damage. It was pushed out there, but the heal comes in. Lakia getting Qeon back up to full HP. I just don't think he was quite ready for how many people he saw outside of the garage. A little bit of a panic ult. Gives his regards to Rosa, as now Lakia going on a hunt, but won't come up with anything.
And it's all 5 of Gen.G here, so RRQ has to turn their attention back towards Mail because no one's watching it. They have to be aware of it, but now they can reset because there was nobody there to punish. And even though I said I want to see Gen.G play as a team, you do need a little bit of a flank angle potentially. Let's see if Estrella can hold on.
Flash for flash, Estrella does manage to get caught by that one, but I mean the covering fire from Jemkin and Xero, too damn good. Estrella out as well, finding his legs. The time is dwindling. The spike stranded out into the open, and that should just about do it. Qeon needed to win that one to give Munchkin any hope in hell. He falls down, and RRQ, I mean the pain they are pushing out onto Gen.G right now, it just absolutely continues.
It is just tremendous what they're doing. It is so impossible right now for Gen.G to accomplish anything that they want to do. Trying different looks, and every twist and turn, you know, RRQ's so well dialed in, the communication so good. Hey, we don't have anybody watching, be heaven. We just got a bunch of contact. Look for the lurker, look for the flanker, seeing if they were trying to set up a crunch. Okay, it's not there. Let's get right back into position and set up for this B hit. And they just waiting with open arms. Okay. Shot goes wide from Flip.
Showstopper on the chase, and Texture finds Flipshider, taking him down, but Xero peeking out of that nebula, able to find one. Gets caught by that full flash. Goes out once more, but Qeon, nice shot from him. Shuts him down. Keeps Gen.G with the man advantage. Hit available, the Seekers let loose. The final round of the halves, of course, they're going to go ahead and invest everything. Elmore able to find one before getting taken down, but Jemkin arrives, takes out Texture. Qeon still alive, still in this fight. Keeps him in with the advantage. Estrella, the latest player, the one who needs to try to get it done, can't make it happen. He ends up falling, and that is going to be a 10-2 half as Gen.G hope and pray that they can replicate DRX's success versus Billy Gaming. On a very different map.
Never forget, yeah. It's very, very different. But, I mean, you see these comebacks on this map all the time, to be honest. I mean, if you can really get a group like we just saw going on your defender side, you definitely can run it right back, send it into an overtime. No strangers to those. Or any region. Definitely used to be, right? Only bangers on Split. But I'm not so sure right now. I think RRQ is a very different beast, a very different animal on this map. And Solo, not sure what he can do to rally the team, as they were beat at almost every twist and turn. And even in that final round when they got the win, it was still scrappy. And Ewok's having a chuckle. I mean, those RRQ guys, they're a funny bunch.
Somebody was doing the Olay chant.
Ah, were they? That's it, yeah. Flips. I would bet money Flips.
Well, I mean, every reason right now to be in high spirits on the side of RRQ, despite the loss, you know, close one on Icebox. This is a hell of a way to fire back. We very well could get our first look at Sunset properly here in VCT Pacific.
And Sunset was the map that Gen.G was banning during Convergence, so kind of curious to see what they've been cooking. They didn't want to show it there. See what they have something saved. Look at Elmimore's scoreline.
I mean, he's just been a beast.
Whoa.
Yeah, is it the numbers that we saw from Texture in the last map? No. Is it still impressive?
There just aren't enough rounds available to get to those numbers.
I know, exactly. This has been so one-sided, it just can't make it happen. You'd have to be getting aces in every single round.
Yeah. Well, they try to go for the push. Slowed up momentarily by the well.
Okay, Jemkin on that entry. Manages to stick it, plant his feet, finds Texture, looks for a little bit more, but Qeon is even going to be able to find the kill. Finds 3, looks for the 4th, can't make it happen. But he's done so much work here for the team. Straying out. Last one standing, almost takes out Lockheed, puts him down to 5 HP. As Meteor watches for the ramp's approach, and it's actually going to be Munchkin who claims the kill. We will stay dead even in pistol rounds, but Gen.G still a world of work to be done if they want to get themselves back into this. But that's the first step taken.
Munchkin's got a big smile on his face, so at least spirits remain high for Gen.G. You know, sometimes you have a bad half. If you can just shake it off, things can quickly turn your way. Qeon, oh my, lined up nicely there for you.
Everybody just pushing through that wall, shut down one after the other. And clean stuff from the new potential prodigy.
Chip damage there, helping out a bit as well. Meteor with the Marshall. We're back to normal. We're back to 2023 VCT Pacific.
Okay, well, hearing that forward push coming in, that's a lot of damage down to the Jemkin. Flip's not going to be catching any of that one, but Meteor back in mid will be able to find Elmimore. The jump shots coming through. Look at the try to pressure him out, but Munchkin from above up on the Raptors able to find the kill. Shot from Jemkin will get Meteor taken down, which gives him a Marshall.
It feels like a bit of an overheat there from Meteor. Get that first kill and kind of
I mean, look, who
dive
knows?
deep. I mean, look, it is a Meteor.
Who knows when he's going to be able to play Jet again?
That's true.
You know, if people start banning Split, actually, I don't think after, unless they run this back, I don't know if anyone's going to be banning Split against them, but...
That's true. And remember that ace he had with the Marshall on Breeze.
Yeah.
He just pushed and just kept killing. So, you know what? If anybody in the world is allowed to do it, it's him.
And Aspas. And
well, okay, yeah.
And
there's many, yes. There's many who it's allowed.
Buzz.
Yeah, Buzz isn't really that kind of player usually.
Nah, not really.
Not with a Marshall.
Well, Texture now looking to put an end to this round. Swing out. He is going to get clipped by that Marshall.
30 seconds left.
There's the team joining in. Jemkin going to get finished off as he just tries to grab that orb. Just the spray through. He'll be rewarded with the kill. Straight out once again. Last man standing. Seeing if he can find anything to top off that round. He cannot. Anti-Eco going the way of Gen.G here. Now, we saw, you know, that bonus get picked up from RRQ back over on Icebox. Can Gen.G replicate the beginning of this map now? Can they stop it? Can they get the conversion and begin that monstrous streak to come back?
Yeah, and if they can, it starts to creep in the back of your head as RRQ that, oh boy, maybe neither team just really has an attacker side set up for each other. Texture.
He's very animated today.
He is very animated. This is, Texture is usually a little bit on the quieter side, but today, man, he wants this bad.
And I think that might be a testament to kind of the things that Gen.G has been talking about in regards to just the team setup this season. You know, the players are very openly admitting, like, last year we weren't really getting along super well. And it seems like right now everybody's getting along, because even with this 6-round deficit they find themselves in, they're still high-spirited and animated.
Yeah, and considering it's rather late here in Seoul, South Korea as well.
These are gamers.
That's true. None of these players are going to bed until like 3 or 4 hours from now anyway.
They're probably still going to go home and play solo queue after this.
100%.
Meteor doesn't go for timing.
My.
Oh, Lakia does. Well, if you won't, I will. Finds the kill.
He got a hit.
Yep. Jemkin clipped by that one, down to 15. Heals will come out. And it's just going to be the dry peaks coming in, and this time
no.
he'll get finished off. Meteor good for the shot. Pop flash up over the top of the screen. Sparrow on the side. The spray through. Both of them so very low. Meteor goes for the hip fire, finds one.
Spike down.
Once again, it's all on a strand. He can't make it happen. Meteor scoops up a 3K with a Marshall in hand, and Gen.G do in fact convert the bonus.
I mean, it's madness. Neither team seems to really be able to break the other's defenses. I mean, this is so well read here by Lakia, able to then just readjust back behind the pillar to kind of set up this double angle with Meteor, and both of them playing it so well.
I get it now. It's because Lakia, he jumped down and did the spray. So as long as he jumps off a surface before spraying,
that's his superpower.
Lakia will get a kill.
He is one of the worst X-Men, but he's still an X-Men. Yeah.
Well, that is going to force the first timeout here from RRQ in this map. Still a very comfortable lead, but as we get ready to go into, what should be a fairly low buy from them, they run the risk of allowing for Gen.G to get back within touching distance. Initially, I was thinking maybe they were actually going to tie their most dominant map score versus Gen.G. We saw them, 10-2 on Lotus before, or 13-2 on Lotus in the past versus Gen.G. back in the LCQ.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought, okay, maybe they'll be able to tie that up. Now it's starting to get away from them.
Well, hide the playbook.
And that map was the only one that they were able to take away from Gen.G last season.
Yeah, for sure.
But now, well, from Marshall to Operator, pain could very well continue here. This time being dished up by Gen.G.
And now it's going to be RRQ who's going to be sitting on that back foot economically.
They're forcing up.
Yeah, they are.
Flip's just walking his way forward. Guiding light.
A nice little micro adjustment here from Meteor off that light contact, knowing that somebody could be close. Just going to be fully committing to backing off. Munchkin. Oh my word,
what
Munchkin.
What in the hell? What are these reads?
Come on, man.
Munchkin catching Jemkin. I mean, that's just all your entry power taken away. That much more pressure on the rest of the team. Meteor up in the dash. One's over to the left. And in the meantime, Texture catching Elmore on the lurk. The push out of the poison orb. Munchkin claims the second one, just holding down mid. Now stranding the spike. And spots Australia as well. 3 kills, and suddenly it's just Flipshider. This force up. Doesn't get them much of anything. They'll avoid the flawless with that final kill coming across, but Gen.G now. 5 consecutive rounds across the halves.
Yeah, Lakia headbutted a bullet there for Meteor. That's it. I'll take one for the team here, bro. Make sure we get this shot down. I mean, they're winning in all the same ways that RRQ was, just picking apart at every point of contact, not really allowing any utility to affect them, and in some cases just, like you were saying, out-reading their opponents. I mean, how many kills have we seen through smokes that didn't really have a lot of information?
Not spotting anything, and Jemkin going to be taken down. Had the showstopper available. One of those big entry tools now gone. Meteor again avoids the flash. Flipshider able to find the kill. He's looking for the flick there. Flipshider will just end up getting taken out by the bite. Meteor, the stylish finish. A 3K for him. As Gen.G just plowing on.
Today's an interesting day.
It really is.
I'm so glad you're here to enjoy this with me.
I think that this has just fully confirmed, though. Do I want to say this? Screw it. I accept the consequences. Everything has been going smoothly.
Yeah. Oh no.
Since T1 got off stage.
Oh, that's where you're going with that.
So I think it really is just them cursed on opening matches.
I mean, it could
We need
be.
to stop putting them at the top of the schedule.
I kind of am starting to feel that way now too. I mean, this has been a lot of good gameplay, a lot of enjoyable Valorant that we've been seeing.
Yes.
And I am a Valorant enjoyer, so this is going great. This push though, now we're talking about that position earlier. Texture is going to be the one up there. He gets set up.
Oh no!
Oh my God!
Jemkin tries to pull the showstopper, and Garen just shuts it down instantly. Flipshider able to find one though, trading out for the enemy raise. Finds Texture, lock it, finding one. Oh, flips. Snappy for the first. Couldn't quite adjust that vertical adjustment. Always so difficult as Lakia trying to send the pop flash.
One enemy.
Spot him out. He does.
Spike down.
Sparrow
B.
taken down. Elmi Moore now trying to play for the win. Gets the tag out, but Lakia stands his ground. Gets himself a 4K, and you can see Gen.G rallying back.
Lakia,
What are we witnessing?
Lakia stood up and gave him a little something, and it's a drop down. He came down.
It's been a while since we've seen it, but we know that Lakia's got the showmanship in him. It was him and Suggest cutting the ears off of Vanity at the end back in Reykjavik.
Oh my God, I had forgotten about that. Oh.
Oh, this is a nice one.
And he dropped down off a ledge that round. Just saying.
It's the superpower.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if it works.
Well, right now he's not playing around too many ledges. So he goes rushing forward into mid. Let's take a bit of damage here, though. Lakia maybe getting a bit overzealous. We'll just go ahead and pull back here. Working towards heaven alongside Texture.
This round feels like it is a must-win for RRQ with so many of these ults in their hand.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if they don't, they either have to Thrifty or it's going to be tied up at 10-10. Quick cancel on that Trailblazer as Estrella starts getting spammed through the box. GenG trying to hold that angle, maybe catch Munchkin swinging out. Just managed to back away.
I was kind of hoping Munchkin might pit there in mid to slow this up.
These lurks, these reads here from Karen.
You are divided.
Just picking them apart. Elmi Moore not able to find any value now. Munchkin dropping the pit over here on the A side. He wants to flush him right over into this thing. He puts down so much damage. GenG on 1 HP, but Xpharaoh there with the rescue. Takes him out, drops him, and Meteor. 2 quick pumps with the judge up over the top, tries to find a third. Can't make it happen, but Texture. He'll clean up the last 2 kills. The onslaught continues, and Gen.G, they cannot be stopped.
What phenomenal movement there from Munchkin. What reactive play. Those Seekers come around. He knows he's screwed. He just holds down the trigger and says, if you guys push this angle, I'm going to at least do damage. He's able to even fall back, get down to the ground, soften them up for Meteor, and that gives him 2, not, easy kills. They're easy because they're already so weak. Even at that range with the judge, no problem. Meteor almost finds the third. Just fantastic individual effort there from Munchkin to set that up.
Hero rifle here for RRQ.
And look at this, the Outlaw, because they know that it has to be half armors or just, no armor because of the economy.
Painting a picture around him right now, but Flipshutter, he finds the perfect timing. Now Showstopper is going to come through. Texture jumping forward, looking for him. That's just going to be Jemkin dead to rights.
I know exactly.
Now Neural Depth can be infested. Trying to stabilize that aim. Can't quite make it happen. Flipshutter going to find himself a third. As well as a monstrous man advantage here for the side of RRQ. The flank around from Estrella completely unread. Takes him down, and now it's all to play for here for Lakia. Everything to do to stop RRQ from getting up to 11. The win streak has been massive for Gen.G so far, but it could very well come to an end right here. Cash aplenty. No real reason to not play for it, especially given that Elmi Moore and Estrella far away from having those ults, but there you go. A thrifty of their own for RRQ to finally shut down what was an 8-round win streak from Gen.G.
Massive stuff here for RRQ. Back on track, and Flips gets it started. Able to find a couple big kills. Texture gets the showstopper, but Estrella there on the lurk. Flips ready and waiting. Taking Meteor down, so really nicely handled. A little bit of a pacier hit. Meteor back into that operator now. Karen has a Cosmic Divide once again. He's been phenomenal here on this defender side, just reading the movements and the timings.
Okay, well. Cage sent. Heard the push up onto this one, so see Elmi Moore drifting very far back. Trailblazer not spotting anything, which could lead them to believe that he's going to be in sewer. And there's the peek out. There's the shutdown. Meteor finding another first blood here for the team.
There.
But you still have Flips lurking, so a couple extra layers here that Gen.G may have to consider. Lakia not going to be pressured as RRQ rethinks this hit. Qeon going to set up, ready for this. Good communication now for Gen.G.
Push up. Not sure if they saw the gun barrel there. Maybe it backed away in time to avoid being spotted, but GenG sending that boom bot over towards stairs. Qeon now going to be noted, but Texture pushing forward, managing to find one. That blast pack offsetting Xfero allows him to get the kill.
One enemy remaining.
Munchkin quickly shutting down the push out from Flipshider. No HP to work with. Estrella will be the last one to fall. And Gen.G continue to keep it close.
In this round, it's really good communication. They get the opening pick, and when Lakia isn't getting pressured through ropes, then he's like, okay guys, there might be the opportunity that they're gonna come through heaven. Be ready. Qeon right on spot with his star, right where it needs to be. And a good attempt. Gravity well in there. The blast pack offsetting the aim brilliantly worked by Texture. And then Munchkin got that first snappy kill, started feeling it, couldn't quite find it, eventually able to stabilize the aim. He even gives a little bit of sigh, a little bit of tilt to the head there after he got that final kill. Probably felt like he should have gotten that a lot sooner. And RRQ, it's timeout. Woo. Well, we're back to banger territory.
Yeah, it would seem that way. Both timeouts from Gen.G in the first half, both from RRQ in the second. They'll try to get themselves at least up to that map point where that potential overtime could come into play. Eluded us in the first map. And that's what this timeout is all about. If they're not able to find the round win, could very well be the series just falling out from beneath them.
No doubt. Ooh.
Cheers coming out. Players trying to rally back as the fans as well getting involved. And shout outs to all of them for sticking around as late and as long as it has been, as well as all of you who've been tuned in since the very beginning of the day.
And all the co-streamers who had to find ways to entertain their fans. Well done. Tip of the cap. All right, well.
Here.
Meteor.
I mean, there is
very
little ambiguity about this one. Oh, the flash sent out. Snake bite in. Nate as well. Emmy Moore going to be able to find one, but Texture takes him down. The swing around. Meteor trying to get an angle. Finds it. GenG taken down. Scope back in somehow. Estrella not able to find the punish. Not able to find the kill. Meteor dashing back. No! Gets the third shot! And Munchkin arrives to get Flipshider. Meteor, how does he do it? Time and time again. Should have been dead to rights, but somehow he just slips away.
Just the brilliance. That's all that is. Just dodging everything that he knows could be coming, expecting the swing around the corner at elbow after this first shot. He might even caught a glimpse of a pixel there from Estrella and just is ready for it. So quick to react after dashing into screens above the snake bite. Just nuts. Absolutely nuts. And now he's going to the judge with a Blade Storm.
I mean, and that's the critical round right there. Okay, Xfero will be able to find one. The push out from Texture over at Garage manages to find the kill. Cam set up as well. Emmy Moore trying to dissuade them from pushing forward. This was a very early Cosmic Divide. Push up, GenG. Quick to respond, quick to readjust. Finds Meteor, keeps RRQ with an advantage.
All that contact on the other side of the map, I think, gave Meteor a little bit of false confidence that he could push. And he paid the price. GenG had snuck up there underneath his nose.
Everything slowing down. RRQ.
Get your squats in.
Not looking to overextend, not looking to become overzealous here. Push on the corner. Not getting caught. Manages to stay safe, stay alive, stay healthy. Plant now coming down. As the rest of Gen.G getting corralled up over here towards screens. Cosmic Divide now invested to try to go for the retake. That's going to be a solid start. Lockett pushing forward. Find GenG. Munchkin to take it down at the same time as Xfero tries to hold it. It's taken low. And down as it's now all on Karen. Doesn't read it though. Estrella striking. And now RRQ have map point in their hands, 12-11. Can they close it out? Or does Gen.G give us a second overtime here today?
I mean, that's a nail biter. That Cosmic Divide, not very deep. Gen.G's still able to get a few kills giving themselves an opportunity, but Meteor there getting caught is painful after that tremendous round he had previously. X-Pharaoh lining him up and at least getting one. Let's see now. Meteor back on that Marshall. Tried something a little bit different. Showstopper for Jemkin. He's gotten up and towards A heaven, but Meteor's waiting here. Boombot.
Just waiting out the Trailblazer there. Oh.
They're wanting to see this op.
That was a pretty shallow jiggle. He's not going wide enough to actually spot this. White will actually force them back. Showstopper up over the top. Texture finds Jemkin. Australia taken down by Lakia. Counterpart Sky eliminated there, and now it's a 3v5 to try to close this map out. Otherwise, Gen.G will be pushing us into overtime, elongating this series.
Gen.G fully committed to that A hit. Now they have to shift back over.
I mean, they're so well poised. They just know. We wait. Yep. We wait for the plant, and then we get ready to strike. Allow for the rest of the team to come back over. Go for that full 5-pronged approach.
It's a little bit dicey, especially for Lakia. He's going to have to take his time coming through mid. They have no information in that part of the map, but pretty soon here, they're going to figure it out and have plenty of time to make this hit work.
Sphero going to be the only one playing here within the site. Double snake bite, poison orb is set up. As they go for the concuss. Now Elmimore going to go on a bit of a walkabout around, trying to get this flank through. Full flash coming across, and Sphero not going to be able to find anything. The first bite going to be let loose. Time ticking away. They have to be able to get onto this one. Can't wall bang that one, but it doesn't matter. Elmimore able to find the kill and abuse being held, but there it is! RRQ replicate the scoreline from map number 1, but this time they get the win. 13-11, ladies and gentlemen. This evening does not end here. RRQ continue to seek their revenge.
I mean, that round
RRQ bounced back, but honestly, that was more like a pudding sort of wading through the mush, because it looked like they were just gonna clean sweep it, and then something happened. Gen.G showed up with their double duelist comp, which we were also in doubt of, and it was this back and forth, and RRQ at the very last moment took it back into their hands.
I'm just so exhausted, and not because the night is long.
Emotional
and aside from, I've always had hope that I think RRQ's direction is good and their philosophy is good. It's just that we saw once again some of the weaknesses they had last year, which was they start to run out of steam, and once they run out of steam once, it's really hard for them to regroup. Now, obviously, result-wise, in this map, they eventually did it, but boy, like you said, it was a crawl, not a sprint across the finish line.
I mean, so many rounds, right? Especially on the second half. We were all saying these were rounds that they could have won. They should have won, in fact, but then somehow just not quite able to cross over that finishing line. Meanwhile, Gen.G, I mean, the stats really show it. Texture was having a field day. Meteor was having a field day. They got a lot of first kills, and they managed to bring it really close. But towards the end, I mean, credit where it's due, RRQ still were able to close it out.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Meteor MVP for sure on the Gen.G side. That was a little insane. Once you put an op in his hams, he went ham, actually. That's what he did.
Yes, he did go ham with the operator in his hands. But here's the good news for Gen.G. Despite the loss on map 2, okay, Meteor, once again saying, I'm still good with the operator. I can still, somewhat do my job on Jet. Now, I would question how their attack rounds went, right? Because you have double duelists. There's more ways you could have utilized that explosive power. However, on defense, they understood that RQ doesn't have that firepower, right? So they can always spam through the smokes. They can always delay them. And then those couple rounds where actually Gen.G would kind of push out on an offbeat that really caught RRQ off guard. Once again, similar to Icebox, where RRQ is like, well, Gen.G doesn't do that. These players don't ever play aggressive. And it's like, no, now we do, because we're all really strong aimers. So I would say overall, you know, I think Gen.G maybe had a better read on their specific opponent. But RRQ, I mean, also they picked defense on Split, and then they picked a composition that's very heavy on defense. So if they didn't have those 10 rounds, I think this would have been over a long time.
That was one of the big things, at least for RRQ, because in the first half, you can really see they had that game plan. Not a lot of like individual crazy performances, not like what Meteor did, but as a team, they knew what Gen.G was about to do. If they got information about a site hit that was incoming, they would vacate the site and just allow for that take to come through, and then pincer maneuver as Gen.G tries to go in for that spike plant. A lot of rounds RRQ picked up in that first half. It was just the second half that felt so like, oh, it's just not there yet.
Oh, it was so painful. They finally, at the 11-11 round, they took it back and bringing us to the final map of tonight, Sunset, which we're actually very excited to see. Again, we didn't see any of these maps yet. We didn't see it from the previous match, and we definitely want to see how these two play it out on Sunset moving forward. Now, there are a lot of mistakes on both sides, especially on RRQ side in the second half. What are some things are we looking to see improved going into Sunset?
Well, I think they started to work off of these assumptions, right? Like assuming, okay, Gen.G's gonna wait for a peak. They're just gonna hold the angle, and then they're getting spammed through the smokes. I would also say RRQ, I'm glad to see a team still gambling on the half armor economy to try to kind of build up for a longer run, but you're playing against a team with two guys who are known for their scopes play. They're picking up those outlaws again. I mean, I think these are risks that you have to kind of accommodate for your opponent. So I think after these two maps, recognizing, okay, this Gen.G is different. They are living up to the expectations that a lot of the fans had. How do we adjust that on map 3?
It was in that VCT Pacific Outlaw video. Elmy Moore is like, I'm not a fan of this half-armor thing. And then the Outlaw really does come in texture, and Meteor really showing us what they're capable of. But I mean, apart from all these little things about like, you know, assumptions or whatnot, I do think at the very least, both sides, they had several times individual players like Qeon or Elmy Moore sometimes would individually peek to try to catch players off guard. It doesn't really work, especially when Gen.G is, you know, performing at this level. So I would like to see tighter gameplay at the very least.
I would also say it does seem like, again, these Sky changes are impacting some of the Sky play, right? You can be much more active with, you used to be able to be much more active with the Sky here on Split. And now, if you don't have the double duelist, once you use that like first guiding light or the first trailers, you're like, whoa, like maybe we don't want to take this space, because if we use it now and like there's no opposition, then like how do we get into the site? So, you know, there's some questions to be had about composition as well. I'm sure they'll review that and see, do you change how you play or do you change the comp? But now going on to Sunset, I think we've seen, okay, Gen.G, very revitalized, good aim as well, good operator, but my big question is, Cypher, once again, an agent that we've seen time and time on Sunset throughout the off-season. Clearly, Elmy Moore has always felt comfortable on the Cypher, but when it comes to Gen.G, is Meteor ready to play that, or are they going to switch? Maybe the Chamber comes out on Sunset as well. We've seen that during the off-season.
I'm thinking we're going to see some Gecko.
Yeah, that Gecko is definitely likely. Flips definitely showed us Gecko on Icebox at the very least. Both sides, in fact, Lakia picking that up as well. But the Chamber is definitely something that's on my mind right now. Meteor, we saw that op. It's going to come back, or, you know, maybe on a Killjoy, in fact. And on a map like Sunset where there's just so many long angles, so much that you can block off, either agent can be useful.
Yes, and also I know some fans are looking at that scoreboard earlier of map 2 on splits, and even though RRQ won, they're probably like, oh, well, after a great performance on Icebox, GenG went 15-22. He bottom fragged for the team. Let us just remind you, he's still top fragged after having 0 kills on a map at Ascension. Sure, they eventually lost the match, but like this guy does not let a performance like that get to him. I am excited to see if he's once again able to prove that I'm in the game, I'm still focused, I'm in it for the long run.
I was totally not going to bring up that game, but I guess
well, everyone else is going to anyway, so we might as well just bite the bullet here on this.
One thing is for sure, we're seeing a brilliant gameplay. Jemkin, Meteor, Texture have been completely on fire. It's been so impressive, and I have to say, it has us screaming here at the desk, both the Korean and the English desk right now. We had the Korean casters come over and they were saying the moment Texture has his Raze ult in hand, that's it. You know, RRQ's done for in that round. I'm really wondering how things are going to be playing out going to Sunset. We have not seen it in Pacific yet, obviously, because it was only launched after Champions last year. But we saw a bit of off-season. But coming into this now, what's in store?
Yeah, and again, I think when you look at the way the maps were played, I actually think I might lean towards Gen.G looking a little bit better for the haul here for map 3. Just because I think even on Split, they're the team that showed us that they understand how to adapt to how their opponents are playing today on that stage. Whereas RRQ, like their set plays are good, their prep is good, some of their theory is good. Obviously, they were firing on all cylinders at the beginning of Split, but it felt much more like, hey, we gotta like get back to what we prepped, right? Rather than saying, hey, Gen.G is doing this today, so how do we adapt to that? How do we counter that live on that stage? So within that regard, you know, maybe if Gen.G is able to do that again on Sunset, sure, but we all know momentum is a big thing. RRQ's the one who just clinched out that win and dragged out this best of 3.
It was dragged out by Gen.G though, that's the thing. So I think momentum on either side, although RRQ won the last few rounds on Split, Gen.G might be feeling a little bit hot coming from that as well, so...
Look at this party pooper.
I'm just gonna... Okay, Arthur, calm down.
Okay, I have to ask, whoever wins this is going to be facing against our Pacific champions, Paper X, and that is no small ordeal. How do, that might be getting ahead of myself. How do you think that's going to play out? Does Gen.G or RRQ, are they going to stand a strong chance to beat Paper X? And are they going to, who are we going to see, you know, in the lower bracket? Are these two teams going to face again, or is it going to be a Paper X, Gen.G, Paper X, RRQ?
My predictions were that if RRQ wins, they are beating Paper X as well. However, if you're going to have to show Sunset, if you're showing this full best of 3, Paper X is the real winner here, able to identify all that. And Gen.G, Meteor will be playing that Cypher, so it's back to the single duelist. Meanwhile, RRQ, okay, it's going to be the double controller, the Omen and the Harbor. Not an Omen and a Viper, not anything else. It's Omen and Harbor. So a lot more fluidity in terms of how they're able to take space here.
Which is amazing, but apart from that, just Estrella on that fade. You don't have flashes. You're going to have to be really careful with how you execute, and that's what I want to see from RRQ.
All right, the sun has long since set, but we're going to go to the sunset anyway with Achilles and Paper Thin.
Alrighty, here we go. Let's top off this evening nice and proper as we go into map 3 of what is now our final series here of the evening. Let's see who is going to be walking away with that win and who's going to be falling down to the lower bracket. Because this is the first meeting of the season of these two teams, but given that Paper X is the other team in the group, they could be meeting again. You never know.
Yeah. That is a possibility here. And if my memory is correct and my brain isn't oversleepy, I don't think either team's played Sunset yet. I mean, RRQ certainly hasn't.
We haven't seen anything from RRQ on this one, and I don't believe that we saw it from Gen.G at Convergence either, so it's going to be a bit of a first look here for them, and obviously some very different things going on here with that fade. Either trying to hold the line, able to come up with one, but Elmymore with a nice pivot, finds himself another kill, and with that crossfire coming in from Xpharaoh, they get the punish on the textures. The 2 members going to be gone here from RRQ. 3 on the side of Gen.G. As the spike gets wrapped around. Belbet now in towards this B site. Munchkin keeping things quiet. Waiting for Qeon to get a little bit closer. As RRQ trying to suss out where they could be. We'll leave Xpharaoh in this forward position. Play first contact, it would seem.
Where's the smoke going to go? And now you have to deal with this as well.
Paranoia comes out. A little bit of damage going to be found there. Elmymore will be able to finish off Munchkin. Can he get that fourth? The answer is going to be no. Estrella takes it away. 2 members left standing here for the side of RRQ is, well, once again, first pistol round of the map. They managed to pick it up.
Yeah, it's a good hit. And Elmymore is, once again, picking up right where he left off on Split. With some very clean shooting. Now upgrading to a Bulldog. A few others in there. Guardian for flips. 1 Sheriff in the hand of Texture. Back to Texture being the lone duelist. Back on the Raze. Wasn't able to find as much impact as he did with that Jet on Icebox. Meteor shifting into the Cypher role.
My eyes
Be
are down.
spotted there by Elmymore.
Can't quite see the camera.
That ain't it.
There.
Close.
It doesn't. I think he now has it, or it was reclaimed. Either way, not in play. GenG swinging around, Prowler. Over, shop door was shut, now going to be broken down. Given Gen.G's affinity for these, thrifty rounds in the game so far, don't blame RRQ for taking their time with this one. There's Texture drifting back. Puts himself behind the box, waiting to get find the headshot. No, he does. What a high value target it is. Flip shot are going to be taken down. That's going to be half the smokes eliminated. It's now just Xfera's walls remain. Texture shifting over towards Alley. Has to clear out the boombot, however, so pulls away from the angle. Doesn't find any further kills yet. Shells getting sent. Helming more able to find Qeon. Prowler spotting one back sight. Texture. One shot for finishing off Jemkin, who will fall to Munchkin's hand.
30 seconds left.
Then get flushed out. Meteor, Munchkin trying to play through this one as the safe point goes in towards backside. Munchkin with the classic finds one. Plant committed to by Xfera. The push forward, can he get the transfer? Yes, he can. Xfera will be able to close out the round. RRQ move up 2-0, but it damn near cost them everything.
Yeah, it's just a phenomenal hold here from Texture. Just buying time, buying time. Initial crosshair placement, really, really good. Catching RRQ just enough off guard. Some good util to soften up some members of RRQ as well to get those classics a little bit of value. And a chance there for Munchkin at the end, but tough with a classic. And we are potentially in for an interesting one. Doesn't seem like we're gonna have a repeat of split, potentially. Now, oh, Texture.
Hello.
Texture is really having a good start now. Much better.
Here's just what the additional setup may have been. Maybe he was full flash and didn't realize that the paint shells were on top of him, but it's a high value kill to be found. So far, RRQ have been able to convert every first bonus round.
Almimore is also very good with the Sheriff.
Oh yeah. That has been a known quantity for quite some time. Prowler going out, Texture. Pushing up here along the wall as Texture comes up with 3 more kills in the blink of an eye to make it a 4K. And yeah, you can see Locky's eyes going wide there for a moment. He's like, damn. Unbelievable.
It's that little stutter step he does on the back of this cascade. I think you're right, that flash just kind of, he might have got stuck. Or
I think he got bogged as he was trying to exit, was flashing.
Look at that timing. Timing on the back of that cascade by Texture. And then his turn, the 180 to mow 2 more down. Yeah, no wonder Lakia's eyes went wide.
There was a split second, I believe, at the end of Texture's player cam where he just was like... Obviously, the audience can't see what face I made, but hey, you can always rewind it and screen grab it because it was damn hilarious.
It was good.
Well, now, Gen.G getting a bonus. Not as strong of a start here that we've been seeing from RRQ. Still in the driver's seat as they have the full buy coming through. Reckoning also available here for Xfera. Qeon is basically lone anchoring A. Not too far off his meteor though. On that peak, he will get spotted. Blinded up there by the Prowler. Just a couple shots into the back.
And a lot of the Cypher utility going to have to be dealt with. Camera way on the back of the site. Over on A, a couple traps crisscrossed. It's going to be the Reckoning to try to clear that space, and I don't think Meteor cares too much.
Jump forward, trap bar comes in, but Jemkin able to find Qeon before getting taken down by Lakia, who's then traded by Flips. Meteor toggling back into the cam, finding the tag. Down that cyber cage here. Wants to push up, trying to intercept right as he hears that spike plant coming through. Showstopper out. Shadow not ready for the angle. Ends up falling, but Texture now. They know he's right here on the site. Boombot sent. Not going to be able to scout too much. Texture just had a whale of a round. Can he do it again? That's a good start. Finds one. Ellie Moore taken down. The plant now coming through. Looks like he thought maybe they had faked their way back over towards the B site. The paint shells don't go high enough to get over the wall. He's got to clear out both. Straight low at 59 HP. Certainly is workable for him. Avoids the haunt. Pushes the wall. Slowly creeping up. They're playing together, though. Can he get them both? Spots the gun barrel. One. Texture. Is it back-to-back 4Ks? Yes, it is! Back on the duelist, back at the top. Texture absolutely dominating.
Munchkin just had to take a step away from the computer there. He couldn't believe what he saw. I can't believe what I saw. I mean, the showstopper to kick things off and then able to navigate his way back through using that smoke against RRQ. This guy is truly, truly feeling it today. That is just absolutely
10-2-1.
bananas, dude.
This goes here.
Unreal performance from him so far, and we're just 4 rounds in. Let's see how he fares going into the 5th. Meteor again trying to hold things down, and he does. Only more taken out. Gen.G trying to stomp out any hope of a Thrifty. It's Jemkin, Singer in hand, but Judge on the opposite side. And yeah, I don't think that is a fight that you really want to take. Paranoia will get sent through, though. The push on the back end isn't found. Extra just spraying away, trying to find something. Push into the smoke. Jemkin finding one, but as he launches his way back into mid, he's completely and utterly surrounded. Flips. It's very swiftly dealt with. Xfero saying, well, guys, I'm just going to get us a little bit of extra cash. Does get the spike planted. Spots the cam. Paint shells. Sends him back out in towards the open. Finds a great headshot right as the bounce is getting ready to come through, but don't get too much other than that. Gen.G now taking the lead as they string 3 rounds together.
Yeah, Gen.G really reads this nicely. This crunch they set up towards mid, towards the courtyard, really very challenging to deal with. And because they're able to get so far pushed up with Meteor and Munchkin there, that they're able to bail out what might have been a potential problem for Gen.G, as they're just going to step in and clean up what Jemkin was trying to start.
Already the timeout coming through.
Yeah.
Just trying to tackle this nice and early. Ewok looking to try to turn this around, even though they're only down by just the 1 round so far, but I think he's not liking the trends that he's seeing in the play right now.
Yeah, and I think it's stuff like the early picks that they're giving over to Gen.G. That's something that has to be addressed, like, now. And they can't be giving over those first bloods. You know, Meteor pushed around that corner just enough to get that first kill, and then, you know, they try to displace the other players, and it doesn't really do much. Gives them a little space, but towards courtyard, and they can't really get through. And yeah, it's really hard because, again, we have 0 info on how any of these teams, either of these teams, want to run this map. So they're kind of feeling each other out. I was a little surprised I didn't see a Gecko on one side or another, especially with the Harbor in there. I thought maybe you could combo that for RRQ. Get some of those plants down and that kind of thing. Jemkin with a showstopper, Texture with a showstopper, Neural Theft for Meteor, Seekers for Lakia. And not too far away from a pit is Munchkin.
Yep. Stuff to work with here. Strat nearly with that Nightfall as showstopper sent. Texture finding one. Elmimore with a quick reply, however, will shut him down. Not allowing for any more of this 4K nonsense to come in. Finds the kill, but where's the pivot going to be? Elmimore for now drifting his way over here in towards the market. And as he swings in, oh, Munchkin wasn't quite prepared for him.
Oh, the ring around the rosy.
In towards this. Is the showstopper going to be let loose? Munchkin still comes away with a kill. Elmimore unable to find the kill early enough to prevent his teammate's death. And now Meteor finds one. Location ping still coming through from that Neural Theft. We go into the 2v2. The re-ping. So he's not going to find anybody.
Great trades on both sides. Gen.G going to readjust. Try to come from Boba.
This is a huge round here for RRQ. Gen.G break their banks pretty considerably on a couple of the players yet again.
Yeah. One smoke left here for Qeon to block off.
The tap, the spray, not quite good. They don't find the diffuser. They realize this, but no, Lakia, he pulls off it anyway. The retap coming through, ping's coming down. As this time Estrella will just push out of the smoke to finish the job. Tied up now, 3-3. The timeout able to help get the win here for RRQ. Can they break away, or will Gen.G just retake the lead?
It felt like it might slip out of RRQ's fingers. Estrella there catching Meteor right as he's throwing the neural theft. But Munchkin, again, just so tricky to deal with. He's so cagey. He's so difficult to keep track of. He plays around his opponent's utility or his own utility very, very well. And we saw him on controllers a lot last year, and this year, moving over, on Sentinels, now on controllers, he's looking really good.
And the reckoning for the rush here onto the A side. Texture gets himself a collat. GenG and Estrella both going to be taken down. RRQ trying to rush forward, but
well,
not enough. It is going to be a 3v3 as Flips manages to find Meteor. Still, they have their work cut out for them here. See, they're wary about the potential wrap back over towards that B site. Right, as Locky finds Xfero, Flips will fall. Always more now the last man standing. Clears up the Trailblazer. One flash left available here for Locky. Goes for the jump peek. With that smoke down, he's got to rush out of it. Elmimore finding one. The pop flash, he can't turn from it. He has no idea where Lakia is. And Lakia will finish the job.
This is a great little timing push from Lakia, sensing that he's in a pretty difficult spot. Turns the corner and says, Qeon, you got to hold. You got to hold the elbow. And this is just, I mean, lined up for Texture. Texture just disrespecting that reckoning. Lakia, great little pop flash. Finish the job. Knows he's got his opponent out in the open.
I will find you.
Plays it to perfection.
This goes here.
Texture once again able to invest in that operator. Things getting a little dicey on the economy for RRQ. They're on the back foot. 2 rifles in terms of a Guardian and a Phantom. Neural theft there, but hit for Munchkin. This is interesting. Munchkin hasn't been opting to invest it early to try to control space. He looks to kind of use it against his opponents deeper into the round.
Just holding on to it for now. Shots to try to just get a corner check there. See if they can find a stray headshot. Bite at the ready. Trying to shut down this push. Is the paranoia. Munchkin trying to exit. Takes a couple of tags on the way out as GenG last packing out. Stinger still manages to steady that aim to find the kill. It's quickly traded back here by Meteor. Prowler coming through. Meteor finding one. Straight line spraying out of that cyber cage. Does trade it back. Does keep this into a 3v3. As they scoop up some weaponry to try to even the score. Spike now planted. Spare, however, low on HP. Needs to try to stay alive. Door shut. Estrella trying to bait this one, but Texture able to get the catch. Swaps at the weapon. Sprays down the door, pushes through, but is not ready for Xfero to be right up against it. Kills found. Flips for the TP. Does he try to reposition? It's one tag across. They're knocked down to 60. The spray in. He's going to manage to hold this one to half. Does finally fall, but he gives a fighting chance here for Lakia. TP forward, the push in. Lakia gets the kill and plays off the setup defuse. Gen.G barely scraping by with the round win, but they're keeping themselves out in the lead.
I mean, every round so close now. I mean, what a jump out from Jemkin, able to get one. Texture, nice little flick down. Right around the corner though, waiting behind that door, was a member of RRQ. No contact on that flash. Here's the TP. Lakia, no problem at all there to finish the job.
I mean, he believed it. He was like, okay, I fully trust that you are TPing away from me and not going for a bait.
Yep.
Good read. Calling the bluff. Seeing through a potential one.
I really want to see what Munchkin's going to do with his pit. I feel like our Vipers have been making interesting decisions with their Vipers pits today. Let's put it that way.
Well, for now, he's just holding it. Maybe it's like a comfort blanket. Just hold on to that one. Locky in the meantime, though, able to find 2 quick kills. Xfero and Elmimore going to be taken down. It's just a bloodbath in mid. Jemkin trying to play off the back of that boom bot. Estrella coming up with 2. Jemkin with the third, suddenly into a 2v2. He takes a forward position, just crouched down. Nightfall going across. I don't think it gets a connection onto 1. Okay, so Qeon does get caught by that. Just going to be waiting this out. Seems like maybe
I'll find you.
The double market approach.
Gonna have to make that operator sing for Texture.
Well, this could be painful though. Jemkin not watching the angle. There you go. Sings a nice little tune as Strand tries to swing out, tries to take the fight. But Gen.G continue to persevere. 6-3 now. Putting themselves in a strong position thus far here on Sunset.
And it almost completely flipped on its head because, you know, this is a great push out from Lakia. Boom, double kill. And then they're all like, okay, we're all going to go down market and line right up for this crossfire that RRQ had set up, just waiting with open arms. And they lose 3, they get mowed down, and all of a sudden it's a much more difficult round. I think Gen.G there needs to get a little more info before they start making those clumped up pushes. Could have cost them that round, but tons of ults now for Gen.G. Did I mention that Munchkin is a Viper's Pit?
Maybe once.
Well, now he doesn't.
Well, no, he does in depth. Jemkin finding the kill. RRQ, can they rally back to try and deliver a more even score line? It's a good start. This Meteor is very much changing up the playbook. Super far forward lurk here in mid. Seekers on the hunt. Smoke here in mid, getting ready to expire. Texture off still in hand, managing to find a kill. Flip's gonna be taken down now. Meteor pushing forward, finds the elimination. Throws down that near theft. The reveal comes in. Jemkin able to get the punish there on a Meteor and stands his ground to take out Qeon as well. Smacks away, but locking out, identifying the spike location and Texture, taking down his counterpart Raze. Trailblazer more than identifying Estrella's position. Spike is in hand, but I think footsteps may be heard. Texture set up on the corner, and this would have to be one hell of a shot. Manages to whip that one. Estrella is waiting for him to re-peek, but Texture says, you gotta come to me.
30 seconds left.
You got 30 seconds. And pretty much all the util to try to force him off the angle has been burned. The face, the shot, not connecting. He jumps across the gap, manages to get himself over to the site and can have this plant come down, but how does he play this on the back end? The haunt is at the ready, the showstopper drawn out. That is just about gonna be it. No, it doesn't go deep enough. He's trying to buy the time. Lakia, he's not believing in it, now swings in, and oh boy, Estrella nearly managed to get the weapon back out. And see that they're having a mighty fine chuckle about it, but that round almost catastrophically got away from them.
Texture now showing us exactly what happened in that round. Very uncharacteristic of Texture to miss that first shot. The second one was just Estrella reading the situation well, knowing that that angle is going to be held, kind of playing with Texture a little bit, able to at least get into a position where he makes it a contest. Every round so darn close.
They are, but they continuously are going the way of Gen.G. 4 rounds consecutively now. All these ultimates to work with on the side of RRQ. How many does it take to piece together a round win? It's Texture now 19-7-2. Showstopper out, but Texture, doesn't matter if he doesn't have the off, manages to find one, and okay, Qeon manages to just TP right into the Showstopper so Jemkin gets maximum value. Push out of that Cyber Cage, however, Munchkin is able to find Elmi more. As the pings come down, man advantage should do more than enough to set up RRQ for the round win.
Yeah, Munchkin's gonna readjust. Going to try to come up through Link instead. But it seems to be all angles covered here for RRQ. Munchkin, man, you never know.
Gotta clear this one out first, though. And Estrella is here to back him up.
Find you.
The haunt over the top to push in. Nearly gets him, puts quite a bit of damage in, but as Meteor falls, RRQ, they will finally be able to break the streak. Keeping themselves in this game. Potential for a 7-5 half.
Just able to kind of break things down pretty early. Jemkin, yeah, that's nice. I mean, that's a gift. Qeon under pressure from the other side, and Jemkin able to pinch in and squeeze out a couple kills. That's such a huge momentum swing now for RRQ, but now their ults are going to be a little bit out of cycle. Yes, you owed.
Yeah, I mean, Texture, he's just going glass cannon.
Now why not?
Buying a rifle for his teammate, being handed over the operator.
He's good enough
with it so far.
But I mean,
here's the ultimate question.
Yeah.
Do we see the pit? Does he use it in this half? Or does it just go completely unutilized?
It seems to be in Gen.G's playbook that the Viper's pit actually doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's about the implication. It's the implication of danger. Judge in hand, GenG swing in the corner, able to find the quick headshot there to shut down Qeon, to making sure that he can't find any more value, but Lakia still managing to take out 2. Even numbers. Sees finding no one. It's the Haunt. Will get cleared. Meteor snapping, finds one, finds the other, and now it is all on Xfaro. Spike planted, just a cove to work with. The Tide still 25 seconds away. Looks like he wants to go on a walkabout, but he's getting ready to rotate potentially over into Texture's line of sight, but Texture pulls off the angle now.
I mean, I feel like, though, with the Judge in hand, that Munchkin was actually considering the pit this round. Potentially, although that might have been just a cost-cutting measure to get Texture and Operator. Why? Why no pit? Why no pit to cover this? Please.
There it is.
Okay, thank you, God.
Pit sent, Texture, Shorty in hand. That'll be the thing that finishes the half. 8-4, Gen.G out in front as we get ready to swap sides.
It's that last round. That's the only round you need the pit for. That's it. I mean, whatever. They're winning. And Texture is, when he is kind of freed up to do his thing, especially with those operators, tremendous player. And early on, getting himself started with those 4Ks. Again, setting the pace, setting the tone for Gen.G. This team, when I predicted this team today, it was almost purely on the back of firepower. Like, in my gut, I'm like, there's just way too many nutso players. And I'm not saying that RRQ isn't just as good, essentially, as we have seen here today. They are, pound for pound, basically at the same caliber, but Gen.G just seems to have a little bit more steadiness, especially in that operator department. That is really, Texture is really setting Gen.G apart from RRQ right now.
Well, it's not over until it's over. We saw the very close run back from Gen.G. The attempt there on split. Managed to go from 10-2 to, an 11-13 loss. RRQ not in quite as desperate of a situation, but still not where they want to be. Was that a sign asking if someone wants to come over from Ramen?
No, he was saying he wants to. He's going to take the first train.
Oh, I thought I saw Ramen.
Oh, did you?
I
think it's a Tom-Yon.
Oh, I glanced at it, and my brain is also at about 20% capacity currently. So,
and you're already usually running pretty low.
That's true. It's 20% of my usual capacity.
Yeah.
So that's, we're into the low fractions here.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what Gen.G can do on this attacker side. Anemic were they on split?
They've been good about getting the second half pistols.
Oh, Jemkin.
He's in such a far forward position.
I think
Lakia kind of staring into this corner. Seems like he might have a decent idea that they're taking these spots on the map.
Exactly what I was just thinking, man. I think they at least have an awareness of it. I think that might have spotted him. Yep. Look at that.
There's the paranoia. The counter swing not coming through. 3 players now, 4, all vanishing in the blink of an eye. Estrella, the only one left, is just going to be the full send over now towards that B site. It's going to be 3-3 in pistols at the end of the day here. But Gen.G are going to be the ones moving up to 9 rounds.
At the worst possible moment. Yes, Estrella gets one. Meteor answers right back with the frenzy of his own. I mean, what I liked about this round, I had to give a clap there. I was just kind of, because Gen.G takes it slow. They wait until they get their information, and then it's an instant response from Qeon with that paranoia. It hits a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And Elmimore tries to swing to bail it out, but Lakia is accounting for it instantly. So everybody doing their job, everybody being on point for Gen.G. Communication good, Meteor feeling good.
Everybody vibing here. Let's see, the kill picked up, and it's just going to be that one Sheriff coming in Estrella's hands. Texture rushing forward, grabs this orb, but Xfaro doesn't want to give his position away at all. Decides not to go for any kind of spray.
The old paper X here.
Oh boy.
Grab the orb and then immediately shift over to the other side of the map.
Very low. Only more down to 25. So making their way now through B main. Paint shells to try to slow them up. Estrella does manage to find the headshot. Meteor going to be taken down. Smaller weapon he had, but 4v4, but wildly outgunned.
They're just going to go for post plants. They've got a lot of utility available here.
Yeah, double snake bite here in their back pocket. Munchkin, the only one who's really tagged up at all, down to 79. Even then, going up against widely classics, still relatively healthy. Game to try to check. Dart might have been stuck there onto one player, but now they're just trying to rush them down. They'll try to able to find one before falling. Headshot there. Nicely done from Estrella. It's finding some extra value, and honestly, you know, the scoreline is not going well for them, but as far as this is concerned, Estrella, he's got no time. Wants to try to chase in for the kill, but widely, I mean, the damage dealt here is fantastic for them.
Exactly. I mean, that's yet another rifle there with that sheriff shot taken away from Gen.G, so that's tremendous value. So, yeah, okay. It's kind of reminiscent of the other side of the map where RRQ takes the pistol and immediately has a very difficult eco. They just barely scrape by, and Gen.G just replicated that.
This goes here.
Let's see. Now everything's all squared up in terms of guns and shields, but the bank still there for Gen.G.
Flies in. Texture again, rushing forward, but the paranoia timing is absolutely gorgeous. Jemkin strikes him down. Flipshider swinging out. Will catch Meteor as well before he gets traded out by Lakia. Things very much slow down here for Gen.G.
Gonna be a little bit tricky to get through. I mean, any utility should just kind of give it away, but they're just gonna slow push. Oh my.
Yep, they had the double face. Stray ends up falling. 3v3 now, back into a winnable position for Gen.G.
I like what they're doing here, though. They're not giving away any information, any cues. They're going to snag an orb, then maybe rethink to the other side of the map. Throw up the toxic screen to buy a little bit of extra time, keep maybe a player or two planted. Yeah, it is going to be Elmimore watching through mid, but if you just wrap all the way around the other side of the map, you know, you've got a pretty decent chance here that you're only going to have one player to worry about. If you can isolate and eliminate that player, all of a sudden this round becomes
30 seconds
Gen.G
left.
favored.
There's no early detect system in place right now, really, for RRQ. The trap wire, that's going to be the first thing that they encounter.
And by then it'll be probably too late. Yep. I mean, now Elmimore might be hearing that utility. I don't think he can.
Like yeah.
And they TP past it.
I think maybe they were concerned as to whether or not this was just going to be a save, but
yeah,
given the non-rotates, but now the Seekers coming through. Two of them going to be cleared out very swiftly. As look at this, Lakia going on the flank.
Followed the Seeker.
Rotating his way around. Cyber Cage coming through just to try to obfuscate as much as they possibly can. The paranoia at the ready now going to be invested. Snakebite sent out. Elmimore down so very low in HP. Spotted. Shoulders enough to get the kill. Blast Pack's not going to be finding much of anything here. The Cope set up. Jemkin managing to hold the angle there on the flank. To get the defuse to half. Shots coming down at the wall. Will fall. Munchkin finding the kill. And now it is all on Jemkin to try to get this done, but he's just running out of time. He's running out of life. And that's going to be him taken down as Gen.G continue upward and onward, trying to bring this night to a close.
Yeah, again, fantastic calling for Gen.G. Assumption is it's still Lakia doing the IGLing, but sometimes those things shift around unbeknownst to us. But yeah. Look, this is just great stuff because they buy a lot of time. Again, when you start using utility, like that gives away your position, and they get that extra kill because they don't use any utility. They slow walk it up. And that gives them the freedom to move around the map, and they make great decisions with it.
Well, trap wire, but Texture spotting the hand. Takes out one. Sparrow still lurking now within the smoke. Is going to be good for the kill. Finds it, but then the rest of the players is coming from behind. Garrett spraying down into the smoke. Takes him out. Man advantage already here in the hands of Gen.G. This round win takes them up to match point. Swing out. Garrett with a great headshot. A bit bit of a quieter map from him thus far. Very nice value to be found. Paint shells to try to clear them out, pushes them out into the open. Estrella able to find one. Paint shells from Gen.G takes down the other. Showstopper infested! Gen.G with a 3K when the team needed him the most. He'll be the one to dive in on top of the snake bite and help get the round victory. So it's not over yet. We're not going to be seeing Gen.G getting that match point locked in. RQ staying afloat, but barely.
Yeah, and maybe now you can get that economy under control for RRQ. It's been bottom of the barrel, just scraping by with some of these rounds, and now you have to invest a lot here. The showstopper as well has to be used to make sure that it gets done, but that's fine, because at this point it's going to take everything in the kitchen sink to claw your way back into this.
Yep. And see, finally, you know, a dent dealt here to Gen.G's economy. 2 rifles, 2 sheriffs. Just quickly on the classic, keeping that Vandal hidden for the time being, but given the cash, you can expect that there's going to be at least a hero rifle in this. There's the swing out. Gen.G good to shut it down. Looking for a little bit more as they go backpedaling. Estrella pushing fun of the headshot. Runs out of bullets, has to pull away. Lock in with a nice answering headshot. We'll take out Gen.G, making sure they don't get away scot-free. Estrella just backing away over onto the site. Smoke coming down, cutting off that alley access. Zlakia says, well, I might as well take this orb, because if I give it to Munchkin, he won't use the pit. So what's the use?
Yep, that's precisely, I believe, the mentality. I mean, what an interesting situation that Gen.G found themselves in. They rattled off, what, 4 in a row here to start, and they're already back on an eco. So, I mean, that's how close it has been, even though the scoreline doesn't indicate it.
It's a crossfire setup there. Munchkin will be able to find one more for his troubles. And I mean, again, you know, cash on both sides, not very strong. So any damage that either side finds is still going to be overall quite good. But RRQ, they managed to string 2 rounds together.
I mean, it's been crazy, crazy close the whole day. And now maybe RRQ is going to push us into another deep second half. Unexpected on split in a way, and Gen.G just answered the call, almost taking us to overtime. It's going to be RRQ's turn to rattle off a bunch of rounds in a row. Texture so deep.
Oh, yeah. I mean, pretty sure his feet were spotted. Flipshider just hanging out on top of Market. Manages to avoid the Trailblazer. No stun to be found. Paranoia sent in. Swings the corner. Finds Texture. Looks for a little bit more. And he manages to get him with 1 bullet left in the clip. Peter now lurked forward. Revealed. Takes so much damage. Is swiftly finished off by Elmi Moore. They're now the last one standing is RRQ. Now, you just posed the question. I think they replied. They are looking to run this back. They are looking to make this an elongated map.
No doubt. And they are right back in it. All of a sudden, it looks like Gen.G's the ones who's a little bit off kilter, a little off balance, not really able to react in time. Now RRQ's starting to play off of each other, starting to hit their shots when they need them. We're seeing that RRQ that we saw so often on their defender side on split, where every reaction, every decision seemed to be nearly flawless. And here it's going to come down to Qeon. Really probably would like to save this gun.
I think he's going to have to.
Ideal situation.
And just hold on to it, pass it to, you know, Texture.
Yeah.
You know, as a hero rifle into the next round.
I'd like to see a timeout here from Gen.G.
I'm curious as to when they're going to decide to do that. Maybe this is the moment as they get ready to go into, you know, a pseudo-thrifty attempt in the next round.
Yeah. I think now's the time.
And they have that full loss bonus coming through, so we'll see what they can scrape together. The call might be, you know, let's go for like a half armor purchase, something like that, Bulldogs in the mix, etc. We'll have to just wait and see, though. But for now, I mean, 4 rounds separating. RQ need to keep up this momentum.
Yeah, and RRQ has kind of found a lot of the success that I think we saw on Split, where they're absorbing a lot of the early utility, putting themselves
right before the smoke bloomed.
I mean, that second shot was nuts, and then doesn't have many bullets left and puts them to good use. So, but I mean, they're doing a good job of. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Solo. He heard my cries.
It doesn't want this to get any closer than it already has.
I mean,
so far, this is only one time out apiece, so
yeah.
as things continue to get closer, you know, one team tries to stretch away from the other, we could see them, the rest of those utilized here very quickly.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's so important.
Yeah. I mean, Gen.G win the next round, you know, RRQ.
Yeah.
No choice but to use that timeout.
And it's, you know, we've talked about it a couple times today, but just how incredibly fast and furious this kickoff is, how little room for error there is to get yourself to Masters Madrid, which is so important for getting those championship points.
Yeah.
To try to get yourself to Champions Korea, which is nice to say that now.
That's true. We can say that out loud.
We can say that out loud.
Oh my God. It feels amazing.
It's no longer the quiet part. It is now the out loud part.
Well, Gen.G, they're putting their proficiency for pulling off thrifty wins on display throughout the first two maps.
And you nailed it. They just gave Texture the rifle. They're like, here you go.
Yep. Also has that showstopper. Looks like he's just baiting, trying to see if anyone's going to swing off that Prowler, but seems like RRQ knowing better. Quick bounce over here in towards that alley. Showstopper at the ready. Could find an immense amount of value.
Still have one more flash to clear an extra angle. You're to use that paranoia to clear the right-hand corner of elbow. But they're kind of playing with RRQ's mind here a little bit, because a lot of times it's either been kind of like fast hits or they get contact, but they're pulling up and they're waiting, and now trying to get back into the mix is Estrella.
Showing in the corner for now. I think they've quite spotted him out yet, but maybe with that spray fire coming through, maybe they had. Haunt still at the ready. Paranoia has been used. Lakia, the first one to push up, and that's going to be spike noted. Texture in the meantime, sat up on top of the box, swings out, but Xfero is a little bit faster, managing to find the kill. Estrella taking down Meteor on the flank. Seems like they're going to be good for this one. Now set for a flawless RRQ. Just need to find this last player. Qeon has his work cut out for him to try to find any sort of value right now. Two within the smoke. The camera not spotting anything. The Paranoia going to go wide. He gets the dink, but cannot get the kill. The counter swing out. Xfero will find the last elimination. As RRQ, now 4 rounds consecutively here for themselves. They continue the run back.
Yeah, Jemkin just spamming that box. Just keeping Estrella's position hidden long enough that eventually it pays dividends. You can see all those bullets in that box. That's all Jemkin there, just baiting for Estrella. Just diverting all the attention of Gen.G up to his direction. Simple plays like that can benefit you mightily. Your opponents don't recognize it. Okay, Gen.G's turn for a lot of ultimates and a buy, and this one, you know, you really want to get this one for Gen.G. You can set yourself up to that 12th round, get a little bit of extra economy, a little bit of extra cushion. Get those ults cycled back in if this goes really sideways.
Oh, Texture jumping forward with that showstopper. Now sees him. Flipshider. His Paranoid actually didn't know where he was running. Ends up getting taken down. Boombot goes off inside of the smoke. It's a little bit of damage as the reveal comes through. Texture pulling away, however. Not looking to get spammed out, as the pit will be invested.
Oh, hell yeah.
Munchkin decides to use it, but now the Reckoning coming through, just trying to force them back. Fight still at the ready. One since used. Paint shells now flying from either side. Pope is thrown down. Jemkin finding one, pushes up, takes out Qeon, but now fight in to delay. The Cope gets broken down. The spot for Meteor. A 3K pickup as he finds Xfero. Estrella's just sat within the pit, 1 HP, and no hope in hell. Creeping forward, he will be found, and Gen.G, they will break the win streak, as well as the Spears as they move themselves up to match point.
Yeah, a pacey hit here for Gen.G. The pit implemented once they can get just enough space so it covers the tip of the site. They're able to get that plant down quickly and force the hand of RRQ where they have to contest that pit, but there's enough room in the back that Munchkin can stay obscured. Once that initial utility, once that initial barrage of mollies is dodged by Gen.G, then that pit is so difficult to displace. So many crossfires, everybody on RRQ is sitting at 1 HP because of the decay. I mean, just exactly what I've been really wanting to see from Gen.G since I started noticing the pits were being neglected.
We're lacking.
Yeah.
Well, the last time out here for RRQ. Gen.G still have one more, so even if this does come down to an 11 and 12 scoreline, they can once again pump the brakes and try to come up with a solid game plan to turn things around and finally close things out.
And they'll probably get another ult or two back into cycle by then, most likely.
Sure.
It can depend, but there's a pretty good chance of that. So that's exactly why that round was so huge for Gen.G. So much was riding on that, both in terms of money economy and ult economy.
Yeah, and they had to invest absolutely everything into it. With the 3K picked up on the back end, Meteor decently close, halfway now to that Neural Theft, which is the only ult that we have available right now for the side of RRQ. 2 away from the showstopper if Gem can get the ball rolling here in the round. So for now, it's just going to be clear out on the Haunton. Big wraparound over in towards mid here from Estrella, leaving Elmi Moore very much on an island.
Now they're trying to just gain all this mid control off the back of the High Tide, and they're being given it as it's just a trap wire to watch Gen.G's back. This is a full-on A commit.
Oh, and Elmi Moore down to 10 HP. Munchkin at the same time, finding Estrella, takes him down. The paint shells come through, and Gen.G might just be ready to finish this one out. The trap wire around the back. Gonna give the reveal. Now they know. Munchkin turning his sights over there for a brief little moment. Now just retreats in towards the site itself. Allows for Texture to move up. Get tucked away. Flip center able to find one. Meteor gone. The wall raised. Texture. Maybe look at the push off the back of this one. Oh! And there it is! What is that transfer? Texture coming up with 2. And it's all on Flipshider. Everybody corralled in the same position, but he has just no damn idea. Jumps forward, gets into the smoke. Tap on the spike, pushes out, finds one, but Munchkin, he's seen enough, he's had enough. He finishes the job. 13-8 here on Sunset. Gen.G once again shut down the hopes and dreams of RRQ.